buddy. Let me get my man's Toothy in here real quick. I promised him that I would send him an invite to this. If I can actually find it on my page real quick, y'all. Where we at? My videos. Let me share this thing. Hopefully the audio and stuff is all good too, because I've been having so much audio issues, dude. I was losing my mind doing this. That's why it took me so long to get it set up. It's just been disconnecting lately, and I don't know what's going on. It's been driving me nuts. All right. Yes, sir. And hey, I'm gonna be bringing Nova on in a minute. She's been running around the house, absolutely losing her mind lately. So we'll go ahead and get that. Let me see. Yeah, buddy. All right. Where we at? Yes, sir. All right, I'm finally back. Look, man, this is the worst part about starting off streams. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat here. There is nothing worse than when you first go live and nobody's in and you're just talking to yourself and you just feel like a crazy person the entire time. It's terrible. So hopefully I can get at least my buddy Toothy in here, because you guys would absolutely love him. I'm trying to get him on the stream. We got to convince him to join this live with us. We got to get our boy Toothy in here, man. And I got some of the lo-fi in the background too going. And I have a couple of really dope things for you guys that I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love it, man. One of these things is absolutely insane. I was just coming across I didn't mean to do that. Let me get the audio back for you guys. I came across a video earlier right before I went live, and it's terrible. It's not terrible in a sense that it's a bad video. It's just, I think it's ridiculous. Coming across I didn't mean to do that. Let me get the audio back for you guys. I came across a video earlier right before I went live. See, and let me see if I can make this. I don't know why it's coming out like one ear, dude. I absolutely hate this. Real quick, hold on. It's not terrible in a sense that it's a bad can I video. Add a plug in here? I think it's ridiculous. It might go. Warning: this stream is all right. There we go. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to try to figure it out. I don't know why it only does like one ear sometimes whenever I'm using this microphone. It's a great mic. Like, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love using this thing. But dang, man, this thing is terrible sometimes. It's supposed to be one of the best mics that you can, like, physically buy. But, yeah, hopefully we get Toothy in here. I was hoping that I would have my Elgato set up today. Because if I had my Elgato set up, then it would be so much easier to at least like stream games. I mean, I can probably stream games and stuff on here, but the issue is it'll be so low latent, or not latency, but the games would just look absolutely trash. So I kind of have to have that. It lets me do it in 1440p and all that fun stuff, right? But I'm actually freaking tired today, man. I'm so exhausted, and I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm burnt out. I'm going to take this off right now because I don't really need it, and it makes me scream and sound weird. So I've been so tired. I was going to have Joe on here. We were getting ready to do our podcast, right? And Joe had a bunch of stuff going on. He just got off work. He said that there was no AC or anything at the shop for him. So he's just burnt out, you know, and I don't blame him. I was telling him even today when I was getting ready to get everything set up for you guys, man, I was so exhausted and just tired, but the show must go on, you know, as they say. So I hope you guys are doing good, man. I know there's nobody in here. I'm talking to myself, and that's all good, man. We're just going to keep it going. Hopefully I can get Toothy in, man. I don't know where the hell he's at. Toothy, where you at, bro? How come I never see Toothy popping up? Toothy's usually pretty quick with it. I wonder if he's busy doing something. And I wish this would tell me what the stream, it doesn't say what this means. Let me see something real quick. I'm just pulling up this thing real quick. Delay ads. Okay. Okay. Dude, there's so many different things since the last time I streamed, bro. I haven't streamed in so long. There's so many new things. It used to be so simple back in the day. You just hit go live, and that was pretty much it. Whatever you had set up, it was just good. But let's turn this off because I got to set all these things up here. Yeah, man, looks good. That's not too bad. I still wish that my audio just sounded a little bit better. It's kind of driving me nuts. I'm going to do low ads because I don't want to just be blasting you guys with ads. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. So if it does hit you guys with a lot of ads, I'll go ahead and turn it down a little bit more so it's not too intense because I don't want to be doing that, man. Let's go back to this. Okay, so looks like everything is good. Oh, man, why is there so many new things? No, the video is not copy and paste. It's all right. Man, this thing is ridiculous. Let me see why this stream is all over the place. Hopefully the encoder and stuff still works. Looks like it still works. Yeah, sometimes you have to have certain encoders to get this to work. But man, this thing is ridiculous. Okay. Man, I'm not doing that. Let me see why that's crazy. Stream is all over the place. Hopefully the encoder and stuff still works. Looks like it's still lower than the recommended. Yeah, so I think it's like for some reason the bit rate's a little bit lower. So hopefully it's not too blocky or choppy and it looks decent. I might even have to pull it up on my phone because that's sometimes the easiest way to make sure that everything is running smoothly on stream is to just pull it up on my phone and see what's going on. Now, I think if my computer can handle it and I don't have too terribly much going on, I should be able to even, if we wanted to get a game or get something going, that's sometimes the easiest way to make sure it shouldn't be that hard. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this on my phone real quick just to make sure it's good. Of course there's ads, bro. Hate it. Hate it. Terribly much going on. Let me skip this. I just want to make sure that it all looks good real quick. Get a game or get something going. Sometimes the easiest way it shouldn't be that hard. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this on my phone real quick just to make sure it's good. Of course there's ads. See, it's doubling my audio, dude. Oh, you know why? Time out. I'm stupid, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. If it was double audioing the hell out of you guys, I apologize. I forgot I even had that up in the background. See, this is why I got to check my phone. Hold on. Bro, it's so terrible. This is the one thing that sucks about live streaming that people don't see is there's so much stuff going on in the background and there's issues and everything you got to fix. But the more that we stream, the better it'll go. So it's all good. We'll end up getting it all set up. It shouldn't be much of an issue going forward. It just, yeah, let me see. Let me turn this down. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, man. I'm sorry if it did, y'all. That was crazy. I completely forgot that whenever you have something in the back, it's going to keep playing. So you're going to get it through your headset. You're going to get it back through the actual video itself. Wild stuff, man. But I do have a couple of different games and everything I wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to start showing. But, yeah, I think once I get the Elgato, it'll be a little bit easier. Or if I can just get the PC set up in time so that it can do it a little bit better, you know. And let me see if I can bring on sweet little Nova, wherever Nova's at. Let me see. Nova, come here. Nova. Where's my little lady at? Come here, Nova. Let's see if she comes. I think she's upstairs. Sometimes you can hear Paul start clicking. Where's she at? She was so asleep. I just heard her yawn. I think I woke her up. I kind of feel bad now. Yeah, here she comes. Come on, sweet lady. Come here, little lady. Where's my beautiful girl at? Hi. Hi. You got your ball? So you guys get to see Nova, man. She's awesome. I know. Here. All right, go get it. Oops. That was a bad throw. My fault. Hold on. Where's she at? All right. Go get it. Man, she was so racked out. The second I heard her wake up, you just hear her yawning. Hi. Hi, you got your ball. Go get it. She loves doing this. To me, this would be like the most boring thing, but she just loves chasing that thing. That's what dogs do, man. Hi. Hi. You want to come and say hi? All right, come here. She's in a playful mood. I don't know how you just be waking up and going straight into playfulness. All right. She was straight up racked out snoring. I can hear her snoring from downstairs. And now she's full-blown hype, full energy. She's crazy, man. But look, I'm going to keep on, or I'm going to try to see what else we can do whenever we do go live. Because this is the first time, like I said, I've streamed in a while, and everything is different. It's just so much more advanced than when I used to go live. And it's crazy if you really think about it, how technology changes in such a short period of time. It's only been like a year. And I kid you not, almost every single thing on here is different. It's wild to me, you know? So it's a lot to learn. I'm going to have to start, if I'm doing live streams with you guys, especially when I get my OBS up, or my Elgato, and I get that up and running for you guys, I'll have to make sure I get the audio and all that caught up. Because right now it's still not the best because it doesn't want to play in both ears for some reason. I have no idea why. It's kind of driving me nuts. Let me see real quick if I can change. I might be able to mess with that in the settings real quick and just see if I can do both. I wish that it did both right off the bat. It should. You know, you'd think that it'd give you that that audio output, but I guess not. Oh, hold on. No. I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's gonna drive me absolutely nuts. So there's gotta be a way to fix that. And I really kind of wish that Toothy, even though he said, I'm gonna call his ass right now. We're about to call him live. Let me see what Toothy says. I say, how Toothy not gonna join up on the stream, bro? Let me tell him. I'm like, bro, I'm in here by myself right now, and he ain't chatting with us. He doesn't want to chat with us. Hi, little lady. Hi. Let's see if he actually answers this real quick. That pervert, man. I don't know what he's doing. He ain't gonna answer? Dang. Bro, what is going on, man? I feel like the whole world just got silent once we went live. Like, I was so pumped to go live and be able to chat and stuff. But I also know there's a bunch of different times and all that craziness. Come here. You want to come up or no? You want to come up? Or you still want to play? All right, well, you let me know, little lady, if she wants to play or come up. It's funny because whenever I start doing videos, she usually tries to climb up all over me, and it makes it so difficult to actually get my videos and stuff done. But she's a goofball, man. I wouldn't trade her for the world. She's phenomenal. Sweet little lady. I don't know if you guys can still see her. No? You're about to see her in a second. There she goes. But, hey, look. This is what I wanted to show you guys, because this is absolutely nuts. Let me throw on my headset for this, because I saw this video as we were getting ready to load up, and I'm like, there's no way that this whoever this was made this video and is talking about, if I can actually get my window capture, I'm going to make sure I get this. Bang. So check this video out with me, y'all. This don't make no sense.
Doomsday is here. A nuclear bomb has just unleashed hell right in front of your eyes. The land turns to ash and scatters in the wind.
Talk about a nuclear bomb real quick.
You have mere seconds to get to safety. But once that blast hits...
Oh, come on, bro. How they gonna smash an ad so quick?
How could the light burn
your skin? That wasn't even an ad.
Why should you never look at the explosion? And how can taking off your clothes save your life? This is What If, and here's what would happen if a nuke exploded near you. Once that missile launches, you can't escape what's coming next. But what are you facing? Well, 4 types of energy are about to be unleashed. First, a blast wave would rip through the landscape, knocking you around like a rag doll and destroying buildings. After that, brace yourself for intense light, followed by skin-melting heat and deadly radiation.
Okay.
Then, a hot bubble of gas will form a fireball that will vaporize everything inside it. All that dust debris will shoot up into the air, creating the iconic mushroom cloud.
We're going to talk about this in a second.
Even if you somehow survived this nightmare, why would your life never be the same again? So far, only one nation has used a nuclear bomb against its enemy. The first of the 2 bombs dropped on Japan by the United States during World War II, Little Boy, decimated Hiroshima. It had the strength of 15 kilotons of TNT. But that's nothing compared to what nuclear weapons are packing today. The most powerful is 80 times stronger than what hit Hiroshima. Now, while that would be devastating and level everything for miles, it wouldn't make our planet a nuclear wasteland. You, on the other hand, well, you wouldn't be so lucky. If you happen to be in the blast vicinity, your days would be numbered. Remember that intense bright light? Yeah, well, that flash is strong enough to burn your skin off. These intense flash burns can be fatal, and they killed 50% of the people who died in Japan. And here's hoping you didn't stare directly into that blast, because this devastating light would oversaturate your retinal pigments and leave you blind. Flash blindness can go away after 2 minutes if the explosion happens during the day, but at night, you could be blinded for much longer. And if you weren't sheltered, you may not survive what's coming next. In just a fraction of a second, the nuclear fireball would expand out like a balloon rising into the sky. The heat from that fireball would send out a blast wave that would rip you and the ground under you apart. If you didn't make it indoors before the blast, the supersonic wave might kill you by ripping off your skin or sending you flying through the air. Then, a violent burst of thermal radiation would be released and head right toward you. And unfortunately for you, it's only going to get worse. Next, a second pulse would hit, lasting a few seconds this time. This wave would carry 99% of the total thermal radiation from the nuke. You could be 8 kilometers away and still suffer first-degree burns from this detonation. And all that would happen in a matter of moments. Then, the resulting mushroom cloud would tower above everything. So, what would you do now? Man? Well, even if you only suffered third-degree burns, the pain would be enough to send your body into instant shock. Hospitals, if there were any left in the area, would be so overrun with other victims that you might not get treated for hours. Gamma and neutron radiation would cover everything the first minute after the blast. If you somehow lived through that blast wave and the fiery heat, this radiation might kill you. As the dust settles, the radioactive particles would penetrate everything, making the blast site hazardous for months, if not years. Radiation exposure could lead to brain seizures and cancer. It might even reduce the lymphocyte cells in your blood. That would increase your risk for infections. To avoid that lethal fallout, you'd have to run and hide. You'd have about 10 minutes before the radiation hits, so hustle and get to a concrete or brick building to shelter you for the next 24 hours. And you're gonna want to get naked. If you take off your radiated clothes, you could remove up to 90% of the radioactive material clinging to you, so save your modesty for another time. Now, since you've stripped down, wash yourself with soap and water to get rid of any remaining radioactive particles. Now, there probably wouldn't be any power left, but you'd have to keep the air conditioning and the fans off if there was. Otherwise, contaminated air from the outside could come in. Now, no matter how safe you are, you can never guarantee that nuclear annihilation is far away. Yeah, after all, the United States and Russia own 90% of the world's nuclear weapons, so what would happen if Russia launched a nuke? Well, get to the shelter and keep watching, because that's a story for another What If.
Okay. So, I'll go back to this. Look, this whole video was talking about this nuclear explosion, right? Because I think that's been on everybody's minds lately with all the craziness popping off in this world with Iran, and you all know the deal. Now, the wildest thing that I remember doing, at least in the Marine Corps in terms of some of our training, is we did cover this, right? Like CBRN, part of that was this radioactive nature, like this nuclear device, biological warfare, all these different little elements that we covered in our training. And a lot of the things that I remember going over at the time, it almost seems pointless, because if you're exposed to a nuclear blast like this, like the chances that you actually have of survival are so slim to none, especially if you're within that first wave. So outside of it, yeah, maybe if you're 50 miles, maybe not even 50 miles, but if you're a couple hundred miles away, then yeah, man, I can see some of that nuclear fallout or whatever. You're taking cover and you're trying to wash your clothes and strip naked and do everything that they filed in the video. But it's like, dang, man, is that really going to help? Right? I think there's so many other things that you have, like concerns on your mind, bro. That's a difficult thing to deal with. But I just thought it was a really interesting video because it said that the first part of the blast would throw you around and ragdoll you. And I was watching a video. This is probably, I want to say, at least 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And this lady actually survived one of the blasts. I don't know if it was Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I don't know which one that she survived, but they were saying that she witnessed some of the people around her and what that nuclear blast actually looked like. So it was just such an interesting documentary. I believe the woman was, quite old at the time, and she lost her sight. And I don't remember if it was actually from this incident, but it was just such a intense image. And I was trying to put myself in those shoes, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I think she saw her mom or something get vaporized. Like, dude, it's wild. So absolutely wild. I just saw that pop up on my my feed earlier, right before I even started the live stream. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, bro. Like, what are the chances of that? And I think it's because a lot of there's just been so many talks of the war in Iran with all the current events going on that this has been everywhere. You can't seem to escape it. I don't think there's anybody that's out there right now that that can avoid, or that doesn't know. Maybe not even avoid is the right word. That just wouldn't know what's going on during this conflict, during this war. Now, there's been a lot of talks lately. Oh man, time out. Hold on. Pull this up real quick. We about to flip over. Can I get that? Yeah, buddy. Y'all, check this out. So it says that the Army authorizes combat patches for troops deployed to the Iran war zone. Yo, that's kind of mind-blowing. If you really think about this, time out. Hold on, look at this. The Army has approved soldiers deployed to the Middle East and Africa in support of Operation Epic Fury to wear combat patches. I don't know how I really feel about this. I guess it all really depends, right? Because it showcased that the soldier was inside of a combat zone. So the Army operates a little bit differently than the Marine Corps. And we don't wear patches in the Marine Corps. We get ribbons and medals depending on whatever the conflict was. So, yeah, can I see a combat patch being issued for the Army side? Yeah. I wonder if they're going to come out with a ribbon or something representative of this for the military, especially the Marine Corps. I don't know. It could, if the conflict keeps escalating the way it does, especially if we have, boots on the ground, then I could see that being a possibility, right? All right, Nova, you got to stop. You got to calm down a little bit. She's trying to climb up on me. All right. To soldiers who served in countries and the U.S. CENTCOM, okay. Africa Command through list, okay. So from February 28th, and that's interesting because I think that's actually when I deployed to Afghanistan. It was around that time, like February. Shoulder sleeve, okay. In hostile operations, hostile conditions. All right. So, dang. I mean, it does kind of make sense, right? Combat patches were previously authorized for U.S. troops in the Middle East from October 7th, 2023. What? What? Did anybody else know that? I had no clue that they were issued the combat patches from October 7th, 2023 to 25. Okay. So Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon. Yo. Man. Okay, so I guess combat patches are going to be authorized. I mean, that's interesting. I had no idea about the October 2023 one, man. Until June. Why? Does anybody know? Drop it in the comments. Like, let me know in chat if there is anybody that knows why those dates specifically. That's mind-blowing. And, hey, check this out. All right. Here's another big one, man. This has been on my mind, and I really wanted to make a video on this. In fact, I was about to make a video about this earlier. So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but this Marine Corporal is charged with stealing and selling ammo, weapons from Camp Pendleton, right? Here's the wild part about this entire thing. Let's go ahead and get that stream music back for a sec. Where's it at? Man, whatever. All right, let's just do this. So look, the Marine Corporal charged with stealing and selling ammo. Dude, the stuff that he sold was not like regular weapons. Okay? We're talking about javelins and these missile systems. All right, so this guy, where's he at? All right, Paul Amaryllis. Okay, so conspiracy to commit theft and embezzlement of government property. We already know like some of these charges that you're about to get with that. You about to get some serious ass charges, especially if you're doing this inside of the Marine Corps and you're taking these assets and government property and selling it. Even small things that you wouldn't really think about. You know, the military it gets very, very, very serious on. Come here. If you want to climb up, you're not okay. She doesn't want to. She wants to just climb up on me halfway. Come here. You want to come up? If you want to come up, you got to come all the way up. Come here. Okay. All right. Get that body up here. All right. So. All right, little lady. Figure out your spot. Get comfy. This is what I deal with all the time, by the way. You guys just don't even see it because I take it out of the videos, but she be climbing up on me. All right. Get your paws out of there. You're good. You're good. You're not going to move. So this Marine essentially stole launchers and has sold them. And in the military, even basic stuff, like if you are on a rifle range, whenever you're leaving, they make us do brass checks, is what we call them. And they're like, sir, this recruit, this is back in boot camp, but like, sir, this recruit has no brass or live ammunition on them or whatever they make you say, right? And you have to empty out all your pockets and do all this stuff because they want to make sure that you're not taking rounds or ammunition or even shell casings. They don't care. They don't want you taking brass back. And when you go to the regular rifle range, they still make sure that you have, okay, you got to go on this side, little lady. Thank you. They want to make sure that you're not taking that stuff and sharing it, right? Or not sharing it like as a crayon out of a box or some like snack or something, but that you're not selling it. Okay, so they don't want those getting into the wrong hands. And here's the thing. This dude was taking and transporting weapons and ammunition, and it was millions of dollars and stuff. And if you think about it, even this launcher that they're talking about, right? It says, I have 2 launchers I think you'd like. Okay, allegedly texted a co-conspirator. Photos. Okay, here it is. A portable javelin missile system. Homie stole a freaking missile system that he signed out from Camp Pendleton. Here's the thing. Why are you going to sign it out and go through all that work and then turn around and sell it? Bro, I mean, this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. This is mind-blowing. Marine found with explosive device. That's how they talk about it, or is that something else? Oh, that's a all right, that's a related video. I was about to say, I'm like, there's no way. So you're talking about this dude that is in the Marine Corps, right? So a corporal. So he's been in, and it said a corporal, right? Let me pull this back up. I think it said a corporal. All right, so a Marine corporal. So we're talking about a dude that's been in the Marine Corps for at least, let's just give it some credit and say he's been in for about 3 years, right? At least 2.5, 3 years. This dude has been in the Marine Corps for a while, and he's turning around and selling ammunition and weapon systems. Bro, that is mind-blowing. I mean, the balls on that dude. Nova. She don't even know what side she want to go to. Okay, that side? Well, stay there. Nope. Alright, well, we'll swap sides. Oh my gosh. this is why I said it always takes me so long to get stuff done, man. She's like a big ass baby. I know, sweetheart. Hopefully she'll find a comfy spot and she'll be good. But you think about this guy that's been in the military for a while now. When we talk about security risks and threats to safety and government resources, one of the things that always comes to mind is financials. Okay, if you are going for a security clearance and you're trying to get approved for it, they do check your finances because they want to make sure that you're not going to be a liability. Because if you are hurting or you're in severe debt or you're trying to take care of stuff like that, they know that you're more exposed to an outside influence that's going to try to get you to either give away government documents or in this case weapon systems, ammunition and stuff because you need the money. Look, man, I get it. Times are tough, right? We're all out here struggling, but to take missile systems, bro, y'all crazy as hell. All right, Nova, you're gonna have to go down because you're doing a little bit too much. You're up on my face. You can't find a good spot. I know. All right, well, get comfy. So you got a dude that's out here stealing javelins, bro. Could you imagine even transporting it, how that looks? And who's buying it? Who is talking to this guy? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that javelin off you. I don't know. I just think it's a wild one. And it says, yeah, thousands of rounds. Okay. Well, goodbye. Wild. So we're talking about thousands of rounds of, and it says military grade ammunition. So yeah, man. Let me see. I think Toothy might be jumping on here. Let's see. I'm going to see if Toothy jumps on here. But yeah, this dude stole so many rounds of live ammunition, bro. We're talking about millions of dollars, right? So it says he used his technical specialist position at the School of Infantry West to steal at least one javelin, thousands of rounds of military-grade ammunition, and other weapon-related materials. Man, and he did this for 3 years, bro. We're talking about 3 years. Hold on, let me resend him this link. I'm trying to get this link back for him. Hold on. Share. See if my man Toothy wants to jump on. I really want to try to jump on like D2 and play some games. Like I said, if I get my Elgato, it should be here tomorrow. When I get it tomorrow, I'll be jumping on a lot more. I'll probably do live streams. I want to say, I don't know, at least a couple times a week. That would be the best. And, you know, I'd be playing games a lot of the times from 9 p.m. Eastern, something like that. Around that time, I'm usually playing games and different things. So hopefully I can start streaming more, and I'll just keep it going so it's a little bit more of a standard thing. And Nova, are you okay? Because when you jumped off, you scratched my watch. I want to make sure she's doing good, that she's not. You didn't get scraped by that, did you? Are you good? I felt it like catch a little bit. Nope. Man, this dog, I swear this little lady is crazy, man. I'm going to show you guys something actually that's kind of interesting here in a second too, because actually I'll share with you guys in a second, but this thing is absolutely amazing. It's another reason I love Dobermans. I'll call her back if she leaves. But yeah, this entire thing right here is just unheard of to me. Like, I cannot believe that this guy did something at least to this extreme. To me, this is way above and beyond what, like, I was going to say typical theft. I mean, I don't even think that theft is really typical to this level where you have a guy that's selling javelins, bro. Stealing and selling javelins, military grade equipment, bro, y'all crazy. And by the way, military grade sucks. So it's not anything special. Now, the javelin itself, when we're not talking about military grade, is usually that stamp that they put on things that they try to make it sound like it's a lot better than what it actually is. Because we know that military grade is usually sold to the lowest bidder. It's absolute garbage. It's hand-me-downs for years. And companies know that nobody certifies they don't really certify military grade stuff. They just put a stamp on it. So nobody cares about it, right? Now, when you think about the actual weapon systems itself that this dude essentially stole, That's not military grade. That is just straight up military equipment. And there's a massive difference there. So, I mean, if you're, I mean, just, I don't know what they're going to do to this guy. I have no idea. So, obviously, he's arrested. So, they got him in custody and he's pending a trial. So, he's going to have a trial coming up. But at the same time, it's like, what do you think this guy is going to face at this level? Because this is over the course of 3 years. So from February 2022 to November 2025. So look at his dates, man. We're talking about 3 years that he was selling this. So they're going to have to go back and figure out just how many things that he sold over the course of this time, or how many things did he steal, and what else did he steal? What else did he leak? Because this can just be one little rabbit hole or one little peephole into something so much deeper, a tunnel of absolute nasty savagery that this guy pulled off. And when you're in that position, especially after you've been in for a while, I mean, he is a corporal at this point. He has a certain level of trust that he can get away with certain things, right? Because he's a trusted individual. And that's why they always tell you that whole, like, if you see something, say something, and everybody can be, I don't want to use the term suspect, but everybody can have some type of nefarious things in their mind, or maybe even conspiring to do stuff like this. But to actually sell military grade equipment, dog, and javelins, like, that's what gets me. The whole, I have 2 launchers I think you'd like. Who is he talking to at this point? If you want to take a look tomorrow, who is he talking to? Who is he selling this to? I think this is going to be such an interesting, not turn of events. I think this is going to be a very interesting article once we start, or interesting case, not even an article. I think this is going to be a very interesting case as we see how this all unfolds and this thing comes to light. Now, there's also some other crazy stuff going on in the world I wanted to share with you guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let's go ahead and get the music back for 1 second, because I like having a little bit of something in the background. That's an ad. Let me close that. But there's a couple other interesting things here. Let me get this up for you guys. So I don't know if you've seen this yet, but it just came out a couple hours ago. Let me pull this up. An F-35, and we're going to talk about this fighter aircraft real quick. Here it is. So I don't know if we have any more details. I'm looking for something that's a little bit more new. So this was 2 hours ago. So we're going to talk about this real quick. There's another very interesting story. So check this out. So in Nevada, right, an F-35 jet crashed, and this is at Nellis Air Force Base. And apparently the pilot himself ejected and is perfectly fine. He's safe from it, or he's safe after this incident. But what nobody ever talks about, when you eject from an aircraft, it is the most violent, horrible thing. And did you know if you eject 3 times from a fighter jet aircraft, you're done? Like, you're not flying anymore. It actually compresses your spine. And they say that when you eject from a jet aircraft, it will compress your spine. I think it's like you lose an inch of height. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. But you lose a little bit of height every time that you have to eject, because it is a jet propulsion system. So you reach down, you pull that ejection seat like thing, boom, and you're launched. And that force, and the force that it exerts on your body, is freaking terrible. And on top of it, a lot of people don't know this, you cannot just eject from a fighter jet whenever you want, right? There's certain minimums, there's certain things that you have to do, because if you are going way too fast or way too high or way too slow, all these different things, and each aircraft is very specific, and they'll tell you what altitude and airspeed you should be at when you, if you want to safely eject and not get ripped to shreds the second the canopy comes open. So this, and it says an F-15. I thought it was an F-35. Why does it say an F-15? Bro, I wish that people did a little bit more fact checking here, because this is crazy. So it says an F-35 jet, right? And then it says here, an F-15 fighter jet of the U.S. Army crashed. What? There's so many things that I need to unpack for us. Does the Army actually have F-35s? I didn't think that the Army had F-35s. I know that the Air Force does. I believe the Navy does. But then, yeah, because the Navy usually has like vertical takeoff landing, so like VTOLs, like the AV-8s and stuff like that. But it says an F-15. I didn't even think we were still using F-15s. Okay, it says that the U.S. Army is searching for the pilot now. After initially saying that the U.S. Army is searching for the pilot, based on reports, the pilot has been found safe with minor injuries. Okay, the pilot ejected safely from the jet as it crashed. Statement read that an F-35 from Nellis, Indian Springs. Okay, emergency. Okay, pilot's being treated. So it looks like there's no impact to populated areas. So based off of what I'm seeing, just off of this initial report, what I can assume is that this pilot probably had some sort of emergency. And I know that's the basic part, right? But usually with engine failures or like a flame out or something like that, and you have enough altitude, then you can maneuver around to a safe place to eject. So if you know that this aircraft may be in a position or maybe getting into a situation where you're going to have to eject from it, then you'll start maneuvering it, or at least looking out for spots where it's like, okay, if I do have to ditch this aircraft, is it going to be in a safe area? And am I going to be able to land safely on top of it? So, yeah, man, I mean, you're trying to get back to base. You're trying to get back to the airport. That would be the absolute best. But if you know that that's not going to happen, then you can maneuver this to an area where it'll be safe to actually eject and ditch the aircraft. So it looks like, if I had to guess just off of this right here, that it didn't crash into a populated area. The pilot is safe with minor injuries. It probably knew that this aircraft was not going to be recoverable. There was a really crazy video I'm going to pull up for you guys of I believe it was a F-18 pilot that had to eject, and he tells the controller he has a single engine flame out, and then at the second time he couldn't get it back. He tried to do the maneuver, and he's like, hey, we're not going to be able to land this aircraft. We're going to go ahead and ditch it. And he maneuvered it over into a field and was able to punch out so that it wouldn't land into any of the base or the housing that was in that area. So they're saying that, okay. Dude, why are they going back and forth? How did they mess this up? It was reported that the F-15 jet was experiencing issues with maneuvering earlier on Tuesday, but the cause of the crash remains under investigation. All right, I'm going to show you guys something real quick because there's an F-35, right? The base is used by F-15 pilots for weapon testing and other training. Okay, but why does it say that the F-35 was based? So they got two different aircraft that we're talking about, man. We're talking about two completely separate aircraft. Let me pull this up real quick. So I'm going to show you guys what the F-35 looks like, and then we're going to look at the F-15. The F-15 has straight wings, so you can usually tell like the differences between like 18s and 15s and stuff. So let's see. I wish there was like a good side by side. I'm pulling it up right now for you so you can see this. Yeah. So the F-15 Eagle. We're gonna zoom in because it's kind of hard to see. Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead and pull this right here. So if you guys look at this, right, let's zoom in a little bit. We're talking about the F-15 versus the F-35. These are two completely different aircraft. All right, the F-15 is old as hell. This thing has been out for a very long time. There's been different variations and stuff as they've gone on. Like the F-18, that's the one that has the slanted, whatever you call those, dude. I'm so freaking tired right now. Not ailerons, whatever, dude. I'm freaking burnt. But look, they're usually vertical on the 15, and then on the 18, you're going to see them jetting out to the sides a little bit. This part right here, this little tail. So. And the F-35, this Lightning II, let me tell you right now, the F-35 is one of the most sophisticated fighter jet aircraft that you can possibly imagine. We used to work with them all the time. Not all the time, but I've worked with them a handful of times, and they are very interesting because you can look at even the plating system on this. It looks very high-tech, and if you were to break down the F-35 and look at the armor that it has, or like not armor, but like the fuselage of it, everything here is designed to be completely stealth. This is a stealth fighter aircraft, and it's wild because this thing is so well designed. The people that were, I think it was Northrop Grumman, I could be completely wrong with that, but they designed this aircraft to be able to perform incredibly well, but on top of it not be detectable by radar. So the way that this thing is plated up and designed, all the way down to the wheels, the weapon systems, every single thing about it reflects radar signals. So whenever we were doing air traffic control, we had an F-35 pilot that was coming in, it was so hard for us to see on radar. It was almost impossible to see on radar, actually, when this thing was coming in, because that radar sends out a signal, bounces off, and comes back to us. And it was so bad one time. I was doing a what they call a precision approach radar, or a PAR approach, and I had an F-35 coming in. I could not see him on radar at all, even though he was within 10 miles of the airport and coming in very slow. So I had to make him put his gear down. It was the only way that we would be able to get a little bit more of a radar image on him, because his target was so small. It was almost impossible. So when they talk about in that article, and they're over here saying the F-15 and the F-35, they're where's that article at? What was that thing saying? Where the hell is it at? That's the Marine Corporal thing. Okay, man, I don't know. Maybe I jumped around I jumped around too damn much. But when they're saying the F-15 in one part and then they're saying the F-35 in another, they're talking about two completely different aircraft systems, or aircraft here, man. Absolutely wild. I don't know why reporters and some of these news articles, I feel like they just try to rush to get everything out, that it just comes out terrible. Comes out terrible. But yeah, that crash did happen, and at least the pilot made it out. That's huge. That's not always a easy task, man. Is ejected from the aircraft. That sounds terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If I had to eject, let me pull up a video so I can not just tell you what this is like. Let's see if we can find. There was a video of a pilot that had to eject out, and I think it was actually from the cockpit. Let's see. I think it's pilot. I can't remember the exacts. Let me see. Pilot ejected from fighter jet. This is an old video. Old video. Actually, you know what? Hey, this is going to be a dope video for you guys. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let's get that ad. It's going to play the ad for a second. I'm going to swap to this so you guys can see it. Okay. Skip this. And then I'll bring the music back up once we get this all done. So let's go ahead and restart this video. Pull that up. I'm going to go ahead and put let's get back on here real quick. Check this out. I want you guys to see this, because when we talk about ejecting out of aircraft, people make this seem like it ain't nothing. All right. They're like, oh yeah, he just ejected out of the aircraft. Man, ejecting out of the aircraft is so incredibly violent. It's so violent, y'all, man. Check this out. Let's pull this up.
So I waited till about 2,000 feet, which is where I pulled the handle, and I had about less than a second left to live.
That's Lieutenant Colonel Pete Smith, an Air Force veteran who spent his 28-year military career as a fighter pilot and has experienced an ejection firsthand. In TV and movies, a fighter pilot ejecting from their jet comes across as a cut-and-dry procedure. In reality, the process is complicated, violent, and leaves most pilots with severe injuries. About 20 to 30% of fighter pilots experience some sort of spinal fracture as a result. But in most cases, ejection seat technology is the difference between life and death. So how exactly does this technology work? And what is it like to experience an ejection?
It is a complex question, and as a matter of fact, the ejection seat is probably the most complex piece of equipment within a fighter jet. As soon as you pull the handle, at 0 seconds, the first thing that's going to happen is you just send a signal to essentially start the process of ejecting.
This handle, which sits between the pilot's legs, sends an electrical impulse to the aircraft to release the bolts holding the cockpit's canopy in place. A set of small rockets in the front then push the canopy up and out of the pilot's way. Then, an explosive cartridge underneath the seat goes off to catapult the pilot out of the cockpit. This initiates the seat's rocket boosters, which propel the pilot 100 to 200 feet upward. Sensors within the seat measure the plane's speed and the ambient air pressure to determine whether the pilot is at a low altitude and the parachute needs to be deployed immediately, or whether they're at a higher altitude and the parachute needs to be delayed until they reach thicker air. In the latter case, the seat will still deploy a smaller chute known as a drogue, which helps lower the pilot's rate of descent and stabilize the seat from careening into a deadly spin. Once the main parachute is deployed, a motor automatically fires, finally releasing the pilot from the seat. This entire process exerts 14 to 16 times the force of gravity on fighter pilots' bodies.
Instantly, too, by the way. It is violence, y'all.
If you have time to prepare, you want to prepare. And the best thing to do in preparation for ejecting out of one of these seats is you want to be in position. And getting in position is to try and make yourself skinny and stiff and straight. Because you got to remember, this thing's going to go up the rails. It's a catapult, and it's going to fire you up about 50 feet per second. And then the rocket's going to go off. And depending on where you are and what seat you're in, it's 5 to 20 G's going up those rails. And within 2 to 4 seconds, depending on what mode of flight you're in, you're going to have a full parachute. Once you're in a full chute, the game's not over yet. Those are things that come into the survival piece once you're in a chute. Am I in training? Am I in combat? And also in that is kind of an awareness of what you can expect. Am I in the Himalayas with mountains at 20,000 feet? I might have to do that man-seat separation on my own.
In 2007, Smith had a harrowing experience while practicing a high-risk flight maneuver during training off the coast of...
Can we go back for a sec? Let me show you something real quick. This is why I absolutely love fighter pilots. I don't know if you guys caught it. It was very quick. It only happened for like a split second.
I might have to do that man-seat separation on my own.
In 2007...
Right, do y'all see it? I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to give you guys just a few seconds here. Do you notice it yet? All right. Look on his name right here. Fighter pilots always have like the either the coolest or the funniest nicknames ever. And this dude is Stinky. All right, so I don't know why, man.
Smith had a harrowing experience while practicing a high-risk flight maneuver during training off the coast of Florida.
So essentially, I was low and high speed. I was spatially disoriented. We were fighting over the water at night. And I essentially had rolled this thing inverted and didn't even notice from the visual cues outside that that's what happened to me. Passing 6,000 feet, I made the decision to continue. We're supposed to get out if we're out of control at 6,000 feet. But I decided to hang with it, and I'm trying to slow down because I was already through 600 knots.
That's an incredible speed. 600 knots is equivalent to 690 miles per hour.
Jeez, dude.
Essentially, if you're above 500 knots, it's about a 90% fatality. Either you're going to get some kind of flailing injuries, or you could snap the neck, or there's lots of things that can go wrong at that high speed. The slower, the better. 180 knots is like the perfect speed. So I waited till about 2,000 feet, which is where I pulled the handle. And I had about less than a second left to live. I went on around 400 miles an hour. And for me, what I will say about any ejection, I don't care how slow or how fast, it's extremely violent. To this day, I can remember my body position when I went out, because it snapped me back to the right. It was taking the air out of my lungs. So it was like you fell out of a tree and got the wind knocked out of you type of thing. The whole thing was less than 9 seconds from recognition to in the water. For me, I was about 60 miles offshore, but it was pitch black out. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. I did have injuries, but you don't know it because you have so much adrenaline pumping through your body.
Imagine, bro.
It wasn't until after being rescued about an hour later by a Navy helicopter that Smith would discover he had herniated discs in his neck and back, as well as a torn ACL and MCL. Despite the physical dangers, advancements in technology have led to an average 90% survival rate in all types of ejections. And according to Smith, the most dangerous obstacle that remains is hesitation.
The one thing that can get in the way is this, and that decision. Do I go now? Do I go later? Do I try to save the jet? That's where you get yourself in trouble. You just got to know, and that's why we have these rules. If something goes wrong, I can't hesitate. I got to go. You've got to be willing to pull that handle, you know what I'm saying, and trust it.
All right, let's go back real quick. There's something to talk about here. So when he was talking about the spatial disorientation that he experienced whenever he was talking about the spatial disorientation that he experienced whenever he was going over the water at night, that is something I think a lot of people don't realize unless you are a pilot and you've experienced it. Water is, as you know, reflective. And at night, sometimes, especially if there's stars out or whatever, it can reflect off that water surface and it actually looks like the sky. So if you're upside down, sometimes it looks like you're in a perfect position. I know it sounds very weird to say, But this actually happened with, oh, excuse me, little lady. So this actually happened with one of the Kennedys that was flying that crashed out in Hyannis. When he was flying, he took I can't remember, I think it was like a Piper Cub, Cessna, whatever it was. He took that out. Thought I heard something crazy. All right. So let me take this off, man. That thing drives me nuts. So he had this Piper Cub and he was flying, and once he got over water, he wasn't rated for it, so he wasn't even an instrument rated pilot. And usually we train for things like this because when you fly blind, essentially, so if you're flying at night and you are in a position where there's water below you, there's sky above you, and it's very difficult to differentiate between the two, your body lies to you a lot of the times. People don't know this, but if you start climbing up, it actually feels like you're backflipping. If you're turning left and you stay in a left turn or a right turn for over 60 seconds or wherever it is, the inner ear fluid catches up, and when you level it, it makes you feel like you're still spinning. So your body plays a lot of weird tricks on you at night when you're inside of the aircraft or when you're disorientated like this flying in clouds. So I know it sounds weird when it's like, yeah, I didn't even know if I was upside down. Yeah, your body can play very weird tricks on you. So you have to stay grounded into the instruments, and that's why there's a lot of training that goes into it. So if he's dogfighting somebody and he's looking over his shoulder and he's kind of scanning, and sometimes you get tunnel vision and you're focused on what's going on and you lose track of some of the surroundings or whatever's happening. It's very fast paced, and he's going 600 and something miles per hour, bro. He's at 690 knots. Bro, that's absolutely insane. So that can happen very quickly, and before a pilot really realizes what's happening, sometimes it can be too late. And that happened with one of the Kennedys. So as he's flying, they found that he ended up, I believe he had turned over upside down and smashed into the water. And they were trying to figure this out for many years. They're like, how could he have done this? Well, that's how. Because the reflection off of that water surface made him believe that the ground was actually, or that the ground was above him. So, boom. I had that happen one time in Arkansas during a late night flight. I was flying. I was already exhausted. We've been flying for the entire day. I was tired, and I had a little headache anyway, so that doesn't help. And as I'm flying, it was very dark. There's not a lot of lights. There's nothing out there that I can actually get a good visual reference on, except for what we like to call this artificial horizon, okay? So sometimes from the sky, if you're looking down, the roads and the different scenarios will kind of look like the horizon, because you have like a string of lights that are going diagonal, and you're like, oh man, I'm not in a safe position. So you start to turn the aircraft to level it with that, and you're actually getting yourself into a very unsafe situation. And that happens. That happens to experienced pilots. Not experienced pilots as much as inexperienced pilots, because they haven't really gone through that. But yeah, it's a very dangerous situation for these guys to be in. And you start adding on some of that crazy ass airspeed where they're going 600, 700, 800 knots. Dude, that is, it doesn't give you a lot of reaction time if something does go bad. So I always have a lot of respect for these pilots that are out here, these fighter jet pilots that are going through, and having to make this decision of, am I going to eject or not? Like he said, the biggest issue the biggest roadblock that you have is your own brain. Because think about it, man. If you are flying, you're in this jet, you're just absolutely booking it. You've been flying the whole time. Everything is going good. And then out of nowhere, things happen very quickly. And you're in a position where it's like you only have a couple seconds. He said he had 9 seconds from the moment he realized something happened until the actual impact, like he was on the ground. So that's something that it's mind-blowing, especially when you know what's going to happen when you do eject. There is a fear of, if I eject and it's just even slightly wrong, you can be paralyzed, you can be killed immediately. So there's a lot that has to go through their brains very quickly, and I feel like a lot of their training must involve, I don't know, I'm not a fighter jet pilot, but I would assume a lot of their ejection seat training, they probably go through those mental roadblocks to push it, or to push them through it, so that they're not experiencing that fear, that hesitation. Because what we used to say too is that complacency kills, and so does hesitancy, right? If you're, or maybe even, I forgot the way that they worded it. There was something that was really cool about it, but it was something like, hesitation is still an action, okay? not doing something is still doing something. And it's kind of okay, do you want to climb up again? Are you climbing up? Okay, come on. She's underneath. Yep, there she goes. Ah, your claws. Okay, well, I might just let her stay right here because if she climbs up, she's going to start getting reckless. You guys know her. She starts getting reckless. Hi, Nova. You going to say hi? Hi. I know. She's such a sweetie. Like I said, this is the most affectionate dog I think I have ever met in my life. But she's amazing. I know, sweetheart. So, yeah, man, fighter jets, I got so much respect for them. I always wanted to be a fighter jet pilot, and I couldn't do it because you had to have your degree before you go into the military. You had to go like an officer route, and it's something that you pretty much plan ahead of time. And I never did, but I always wanted to, and that's something I kick myself nowadays. I'm like, damn, man, I really wish I was a fighter jet pilot. I think that'd be a cool experience. You know, I managed to get out and become a helicopter pilot, and that was fun, but being a jet pilot, come on now. Like an F-35 pilot, bruh. It don't get better than that. I think that would be so dope. And I don't know if there's any chats or anything popping up. If there is, man, I apologize if I don't see it. I'm trying to look here, and I don't see anything going on. I don't think there's anybody in it, so. But it is what it is. It's still kind of a fun little stream that we're having. Let me just pop this up real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything with you guys, because I'd feel terrible if I don't see or if I miss you. Yeah, so no worries, man. Look, first stream didn't really have much going on. I was kind of hoping I would have my buddy to do this podcast with me so we can chat, and I'm not just sitting here talking to you guys and looking like an absolute nutcase for an hour, however long it is. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I probably will. Maybe I'll make it a video. I don't know if there's anything worth pulling out of this, then I'll turn it into a video for you guys. You know that I absolutely love making content. I love chatting with you guys. I was hoping to see somebody else in here just so we can chat, and I know the time differences are brutal, so I'm going to try to find a good time to go live so that you guys can see it a little bit more often or be able to join into the chat so it's not catching you guys at a bad time. I'm absolutely starving too, so I may go grab me some chow, and then my Elgato, my live capture device, will be here tomorrow, and then that'll give me, like I said, that chance to be able to stream games, and I think that's going to open up a lot of content for you guys where I can produce hi in my face. There he is, dude. Toothy, I was just closing out the stream, bro. I was just closing it out. I got little Nova here, she's going crazy. How does everything sound? Because I can't tell right now. Like, I can't tell if the audio's there. I can't tell any of that stuff. But my Elgato should be here tomorrow, bro. That's what I was just talking about. My man Toothy in the house, bro. Yeah, look at this dog. Dude, she clingy, man. Just a straight up Velcro dog. Dude, I was just talking about this. I watched this video of this F-35 pilot that was talking about ejecting because there was an F-35 crash that happened in Nevada, dude. Crazy, crazy stuff. So there was a jet that just crashed. There's been some wild things going on too. Apparently there's been an American journalist that was captured in Iran. So the world has been popping off, dude. Like, it's been absolutely nuts. And my buddy, by the way, Joe, was supposed to be on here, but he couldn't make it. So I get it, man. He was too tired. There was a lot going on. But what's up, little lady? Hopefully it doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't echo or anything crazy, right? Is the audio kind of decent? That's kind of what I've been trying to figure out. Usually when I have people that join in the stream, they'll tell me, they're like, dude, the audio is dog shit, or the video is dog shit, or something is going on. Okay. Hi, Nova. Here she is. New here for half an hour. Bro, I have a question, man. So have you been watching it? Like, has it actually shown? Because I can't see how many people are actually watching the chat. All right, yes, dude, let's fucking go. Toothy, and you get the #1 badge because you're King Ding-a-ling. You got to crown him, man. We got to crown Toothy. Toothy gets the crown. Dude, I'm pumped that you're here, dude. I was kind of just shooting the shit, just talking about myself. And it's one of the things that I got really used to. And this is what helped me out so much in the beginning is on Discord, or why am I saying Discord? It's because I just looked at it. When I was streaming on Twitch, for the very first, 10 streams, I had to talk to myself for a very long time, dude. It sucked balls. It was terrible. And dude, look at this shit. Let me show you something, Toothy, since I got you here. I was showing it earlier, but nobody was watching. All right. I fucking love you, dude. Peep this. Let me throw this on. Actually, now I don't even need to wear this. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this shit real quick. Let me pull this back up. Let me get this up. It was... Man, this is some crazy stuff going on right now. Known as Andrew Ammo. What? They actually have a name for this dude now. Okay, peep this, bro. This is some wild ass stuff that we got going on. Might have to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. I'll pop this down there. Yeah, bro. Peep this shit. Okay, good, man. Dope, dope, dope. I couldn't tell if anybody else was in it. Or at least maybe I just didn't see it, but dang. Oh, yeah, because you know what? It doesn't show me anymore on the chat. It used to show underneath how many people are there. But I want you to look at this dude, bro. Look at this. We were looking at some of these videos earlier, but this guy right here, dog. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So this dude from Camp Pendleton, right? This Camp Pendleton Marine, I didn't know his name was Andrew Ammo. I think that's freaking hilarious. He's been indicted for stealing a Javelin missile, but not just the Javelin weapon system itself. There was like millions of dollars of ammo and crazy shit, dude. Like, this is absolutely nuts. Let me try to move over my OM1 a little bit so I can get a little bit better up in here so you can actually see my face. So, this dude got arrested for stealing all this crazy stuff. I bet you, I can only imagine what this is going to look like in here, right? So, this is the Marine Corps' largest ammunition facilities to steal at least, it says, one anti-tank missile system, so that Javelin, right? But from what I've seen, it was 2 of them. And the last article we were looking at, he's been doing this for 3 years, bro. So they're saying that this guy, what they call him, Andrew Ammo. So Andrew Ammo here entered a not guilty plea March 26th, so pretty recent. He faces charges of conspiracy to commit theft and embezzlement of government property and possession and sale of stolen ammo, right? So apparently he got indicted because you got the indictment here. And it's crazy that he's in district court right now. That's definitely going to get bumped up. He's going to go from district to superior, and he might even start facing like some of the federal levels coming up. Phone number under the name Andrew Ammo. Yo, that's kind of funny. So they say that he leveraged. What are you eating? Come here. What are you eating? All right. So he leveraged his assignment as an ammunition technician specialist at SOI, right? So he's at the School of Infantry, and he steals a Javelin weapon system and a ton of ammo. Bro, this is crazy right here. These rounds, like what we're talking about right here, very expensive ammunition too. Absolutely mind-blowing that that's a thing. And then he transported it to Arizona and sold it to 2 unnamed, unindicted co-conspirators who passed the material to at least 2 Arizona companies. Bro, there's so many things to unpack here. So many things to unpack. Who are these co-conspirators and why are there multiple? And why don't we have any indictments? There's nobody. So these guys, they knew that he was communicating with, obviously sold them ammunition, sold them weapon systems. And then they have his text, right? So they definitely came in, raided his place. They're probably still digging through it right now. And then they sold it to 2 Arizona companies. Which companies are those? Like, why don't we see any of this stuff? Yeah, and then look at this, bro. Just got some jabs and some other ones. He wrote to a okay. I have 2 launchers that I think you'd like if you want to look at it tomorrow. Who the hell are these people, bro, that he's selling this trash to? That's crazy. So they seized the first Javelin from an Arizona home. The weapon had not been demilitarized and cannot... All right, so that's another big thing that I was wondering. Was he using decommissioned or demilitarized things? Because if you've gone to those Army surplus stores and stuff like that, sometimes they'll have... crazy. Yeah, dude, like what the fuck? Crazy, dude. They will sell like bazookas and stuff from the Vietnam War. And you're like, how in the hell did they have a bazooka? Right? It's because they demilitarized it. They took it all. Dude, I'm absolutely like, geez. Oh man, dude. Noah, bro, I was actually kind of wondering about that. I'm like, damn, I wonder if I should have taken that out there, or maybe I have to do something else to address like that, the PTSD stuff on there, because I was watching it back, and I'm like, dang, man, maybe I should have. Let me turn this back, and then we'll get back into the crazy stuff with Andrew Ammo, because I'm like, oh no, man, maybe it'll come off wrong or bad, or they'll take it like out of context and stuff, because I feel like whenever you start getting into that side of things, especially like mental health, they're like, oh no, everybody's gonna get it, and that's not really the case. People don't just get it, and it's one of those things that you get from anything, bro. People be getting car crashes and getting messed up. You know, it's not very specific to the military. I think the military and the recent wars, right? So Afghanistan and Iraq that we've had these 20-year wars on, I feel like they've started to understand mental health a little bit more, and it kind of brought out a little bit like more to the surface, I want to say. So they brought the mental health stuff up to the surface rather than just letting it slide under, under the radar. So yeah, dude, man, that sucks, bro. I hope that they're not, dang. So I hope that they're not too like more worried about it. What about the other stuff, right? Maybe I need to make a video that it just addresses that, right? Because I know a ton of my friends and everything, man, them dudes don't got nothing. Like they're good. I mean, the basic stuff, because you're getting out, you go through a lot of different, just mental things from the tempo and the stress and everything else. So dang, man, that sucks. I should have just removed that, bro. I should have removed that, man. But you should let them know. I mean, even with all that crazy stuff, look at your boy still functioning, right? Like I'm still like functioning and doing stuff and able to be like a member of society without problems. But dang, that sucks, man. I'm sorry, bro. Hopefully at least like helped somewhat. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I can go in and I can trim that out, or maybe I'll re-upload it. Let me see. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I'll re-upload it and then take that part out, because I'm not trying to worry. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, bro. Because that sucks. Or I can even, like I said, I can do that video that talks a little bit more about the mental health things, because I feel like whenever people hear that, yeah, let me see. I don't know if I could do that on the editor to like trim it. I might be able to, man. I might be able to, bro. So let me look into that. And that's actually, maybe that could be a really good video. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I can get that. So, bro, this is absolutely mind-blowing, dog. Like, to me, this is mind-blowing. So I was just filming my buddy Toothy in with this. I don't know if you heard about it. This just kind of popped up. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. But this guy that they're now calling Andrew Ammo, this dude was a corporal in the Marine Corps. So he's been in the Marine Corps for at least 3-4 years, and they were saying that from 2022 to 2025 he's been stealing out of the armory, and he sold 2 Javelin missiles, right? So straight up Javelins, dude, these anti-tank missile systems that are incredibly expensive to begin with. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands and possibly millions of dollars for just the launcher itself, not just the missile. Like the missile is a whole nother like millions of dollars. It's like $2 million. We could probably look that up right after. I'm actually kind of curious. But they're saying that, so this dude was charged, arrested, and he's now being indicted in district court for this, which is going to get bumped up. But conspiracy to commit theft and embezzlement of government property and possession and sale of stolen ammo. But we're not talking about just a small amount of embezzlement here and theft. We're talking about millions, multi-million dollars worth of equipment, bro. That is absolutely mind-blowing. And they're saying that, yeah, dude, could you imagine? Bro, this getting into the wrong hands, I'm just saying, it's wild, because he also, from what I read in another article, they said that he signed it out himself. So he signed this weapon system out to himself. He's over at School of Infantry West, right? Signs it out to himself, and then he finds people and then sells it to them. So he transported it and sold it to 2 people who they haven't indicted yet. A Jav, dog. Jav 4. Dude. Yo, what's up? Oh, I haven't talked to you in so long. How you doing? I'm so pumped to see everybody coming in. I was literally getting ready to close out the stream before everybody started showing up. I think I did it too early. I was trying to get my buddy on here, and he wasn't feeling it. He was too tired. He was been working all day. Man, I love you so much. CJ Abrams, we're at the chat. It's been a while. So I got to catch up with you too. So absolutely love it. And I saw some of your videos not too long ago, and you're looking phenomenal as well. So I always love seeing you pop up. Makes my day. So yeah, man, I'm mind blown by this, right? Because they haven't even indicted this dude. Like, this dude is not indicted yet. So there's other people that are involved in this, and these are only two that we know of currently because he was doing it for 3 years. I love you too. You're so amazing. You made my day. I'm so pumped to see you in here. So pumped to see you in here. So yeah, like what does it say right here? Yeah, so just got some jabs and some other ones that he says. Of course, you're welcome. If you want to take a look tomorrow, bro, this is mind blowing. We're gonna go ahead and look and see. I wonder how much this actually cost, right? And I was just talking to Toothy about this. When they're saying that this weapon had not been demilitarized, right, and it couldn't legally be in civilian hands, and also the serial number matched the one that he signed out from base, bro. How you gonna do that? How you gonna sign it out and then turn around and sell it like that? You know, the military they will freak out so much if you sell something so stupid. You can have a canteen cover, something that you could buy in a regular Army, Navy surplus store. And if that's issued to you, that's part of your gear. Like, they will shut the base down for that. So wild, man. And the demilitarized part of it, if you ever go to like Army, Navy, or like the Army surplus stores, they have that. Oh man, my dog is sitting on me. Ouch, hurts because she's heavy. They'll demilitarize it, right? So I saw a bazooka one time that was hanging, like a straight up bazooka, like old school bazooka from Vietnam when I was growing up. And I asked my grandfather, I'm like, can we buy that? Like, how do we get that thing? You know? And I was like, does it work? He's like, nah, they demilitarized it, right? So they take out all the components that could be, you know, that could essentially turn it into a weapon system, or the technology inside of that system. However, for a javelin to be demilitarized, that's going to be rough, because that is an absolute crazy system that is inside of there. So I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm so mind blown that this guy would even do something like this. Like, because these are people that you trust, and you're hoping that they wouldn't do something like that. You know, yeah, bro. I feel you on that. Like, I am. It makes me so angry, but at the same time, it's like I don't know why they didn't catch this so much sooner. Like, why did this go on for 3 years, dude? And man, I wish I could have had that bazooka. I was talking to my grandfather. I'm like, that'd be so cool if we can get this bazooka, man. But yeah, it was like $500. He's like, yeah, we ain't doing that. Especially because, man, we were barely like scraping by at the time too. And then he's like, you want a bazooka? What you gonna do with it? You know, it's crazy, man. I'm looking at this, and it's, you know, you're talking about millions of dollars, because where's that ammunition? I just saw it like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, so he also took a bunch of ammunition. Yeah, here it is, the 2022 to 2025. So we're talking about 3 years, bro. And then he transported it on top of it and then sold it to two people. And there was, I believe it went to, these two Arizona companies. Still don't know what the companies are. And we don't know to what extent that we're also looking at here. Like, how much more did he actually sell? This is only what we know right now after he got caught. But if you're doing something for 3 years, chances are he probably has done a lot more than this. So only roughly 1/3 has been recovered. Bro, even these rounds here, you're looking at incredible prices, multi-millions of dollars, 30 cans in a single transaction, about 25,000 rounds. Yep, there you go. Up to 2 million rounds of... Dude, I am absolutely like, I'm disgusted, but I'm shocked. And I don't know which one I'm feeling more. Like, I'm shocked that it went on this long, but I'm also disgusted that this dude would do that, bro. Especially somebody that's been in the Marine Corps and has been trusted for this long. So, yeah, man. And then look at this. So they arrested him where he was completing an 8-week training course to go to essentially be on MSG duty. Dude, that is just mind-blowing. And it's saying that, okay, so I think he's going to get a lot more prison time than that, because this is absolutely terrifying that he did this. Dang, so apparently more people were doing it. So this dude, a chief warrant officer, bro, so this is a pretty high-ranking guy, okay? Selling government equipment, $1.8 million over 2 years. 98 firearms, 90 what? Night vision goggles, more than 100,000 in cash, and they searched his home. Man, this is absolutely mind-blowing. I didn't even know about all this stuff. Purchasing and reselling $2.7 million in equipment. At least 7 separate operations. Bro. I almost don't even want to believe what I'm reading right here. Explosives went unaccounted for at the Marine Corps. So at the Marine Corps, okay, 29 pumps. Dog, what? So this is, I don't even know how that they got away with this. I don't even know how they got away with this. And apparently they even got him in a sting doing it. So this is the part that this is why I say I don't understand this, right? This is why I say that this is so shocking and so unbelievable to me, because especially in the Marine Corps, even when you go to the rifle range, if you go to the basic rifle range, whenever you're leaving, they make sure that you don't have any brass, trash, or live ammunition, and they'll make sure that you're not taking that away. You're not taking anything home with you that you shouldn't. Whenever you have to get equipment, you got to sign out for it. There's a lot of different things that they have in place. So I don't know how this guy essentially did this. I'm shocked, to put it simply. I almost I don't even want to believe these numbers. I almost don't even want to believe it. At least when I was in, was it going on? Probably. I don't know. This could have been going on for many years. I mean, I would assume, since we see all this, 1,900 firearms stolen in the prior decade, with some turning up in violent crimes, bro. This is mind-boggling. So we had a firing pin one time go missing. Man, they shut the whole freaking base down for that firing pin. They will shut a base down for a firing pin. And if you ever watch, I think it was Sean Evans that was talking. Was it? I can't remember who it was. There was some type of podcast I was watching. I want to say it was him. But he was working with a bunch of Navy SEALs, and at one point they had dropped a piece of gear. And they're in the middle of a combat zone, and he said that there was a tank. I think it was like an enemy tank or some type of enemy movement on the other side of it, and they made them go back and get that piece of gear, because you can't lose gear. It's incredibly important, especially when you're, possibly getting this into people that wish the U.S. harm, right? So if this gets into the wrong hands, it's terrible, because they can also reverse engineer some of this and see how the equipment actually works, or they can just use it on us. And when I was in Afghanistan, I'm going to show you guys something too. There's an AT-4 launcher, and a lot of people don't know this about these weapon systems. Can I just pull it up on, maybe I'll just do like a Wikipedia, right? Just so you guys can see this, what it looks like. So this is that AT-4, and AT-4 is just a little single shot rocket system. It's a shoulder fired, whatever, like nothing super crazy. There's not a lot to it. I swear it looks like a little barbecue lighter, like the little switch and stuff on it. But this tube, whenever you do fire this weapon, if you ever watch any Marines in combat or any military in combat, whenever they shoot this, they still re-sling it, or they take it with them. They don't just throw it on the ground. So they're never ever going to just get rid of this tube itself and leave it into enemy hands, because what ends up happening is the enemy will get a hold of that. They'll pack it full of explosives, and they were turning it into IEDs. So there was a video of a tank, I think it was an Abrams, that was running over a bunch of these, and people were like, why are they destroying all this military equipment? Why don't they just try to reuse them? No, we're destroying them. They're single use only. They don't do much after that. Once you shoot it, you just get rid of it, and you have to destroy it, because you do not want this getting into enemy hands at all. And you're still looking at expenses, man, like unit cost in 1999. So it went up a little bit, but does that look right to y'all? Does that look right? 14. I don't think that doesn't look accurate. For a single AT-4, they're talking about $1,400. Man, I'm about to look that up. There ain't no way. There ain't no way that's $1,400, y'all. Ain't no way. Let me look. I'm about to pop this up for us. Let me see. How much does an AT-4 cost? Ain't no $1,400. Maybe it is. What? Ain't no way. You're telling me that this is $2,700. I had a GPS that they gave us in the Marine Corps when we were getting ready to go out. That GPS was like 80 grand. Didn't even work. Garbage. Just trash. So you're telling me that this weapon system... man, I don't even know. Dude, my whole world has just been twisted upside down today. This is my first... this is my first time to, like, stream it, and I started searching stuff, and this is what starts popping up. God dang, man. There's no way. Let's look at how much a javelin costs. Let's get into this real quick. I'm about to break this down. So, what about a javelin? Let's just do the rocket first. Because I'm sure the rocket... Yeah. Here we go. This is looking more like it. So we're talking about... Yeah. A single javelin. You're talking about 200 grand for a single javelin. However, the total cost for a single shot, including training and maintenance, can exceed $400,000. So I don't know. Training and maintenance. I wonder how they're getting that number. Like, how is that actually determined? Because obviously they're training and equipping the people to be able to use a weapon system, but they're putting that cost into the actual, like, maintenance and function of it. That's interesting. But yeah, man, I'm just kind of mind blown at the whole thing that this guy would do it. So apparently he sold 2 of them. So you're looking at $200,000 right there. And then 2 million rounds of ammunition. So you're looking at a lot. Man, this dude is facing some serious time. Serious time. Right now it shows that he's in district court, which I assume they're probably going to bump that up. He's probably going to start facing, like, very federal stuff. And did you know, this is another interesting thing, one of the biggest disqualifiers. So if you do go into the military, right, and you're going for whatever, some jobs do require a security clearance. So if you're going for your security clearance, one of the things that they look for, and it's very important, is finances. They will check your finances. If you have an absolute ton of debt, you can be flagged and you may not get your security clearance. So just be very careful before you get to that point. Like, make sure that you're not just buying random cars and stuff that you can't afford, especially when you start getting those first paychecks when you go into the Marine Corps, and maybe you didn't have bills and stuff before or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is not too bad. It's only $300 a month, $400 a month. You start acquiring a lot of debt. That can prevent you from getting a security clearance. It's just food for thought. And if you really do break it down, you think about it, yeah, that's kind of a liability, right? Somebody that has access to certain information, or this guy, you know, certain weapon systems and things that they're willing to trust you with because they gave you a security clearance. If you have somebody that is in severe financial ruin, right, it's already tempting enough to say, if you steal this and sell it, you're looking at $2 million. That's already incentive for a lot of people. You don't even need to be in financial ruin for that. You can be living comfortably and still be like, all right, man, we're talking about $2 million here, right? It's very tempting. So I think, you know, it does make sense on that side. You don't want to have somebody that can be easily influenced from the outside, because obviously they're going to be able to tempt you with money. Money is already tempting. Money's already tempting. So I was just mind blown. I'm trying to see if there's any other... I don't think there was any recent updates on that Marine that did that. But, dude, I am so... Like, just the sheer fact that he is jeopardizing the lives of other people on top of this, innocent people that have absolutely nothing to do with this, is a whole nother, like, level for me. Right? Because people don't think about those consequences that extend beyond just... Oh, yeah, I just stole some equipment. I made a couple $1 million off of it. Like, big deal, bro. But the seriousness of that is not the money that you made or how much it actually cost. It's what can actually be used against people. So, and it was said, and it even said that some of those ended up in violent crimes. So obviously, whoever received those weapon systems or those weapons over the last decade, those 1900 that they talked about earlier, were used in violent crimes. So probably by people that were not able to get their hands on firearms legally. I don't know, man. I think that whole thing it's disgusting, to say the least. I mean, I don't even know if I have the right words for it. It just pisses me off, man. It makes me angry, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna see if I can get this volume up on. I think I have my webpage or my audio coming out of that. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I was listening to a little bit of lo-fi earlier. Oh, there it is. I just had to. It was paused. I'm stupid, man. But there was some cool stuff I was gonna show you guys too. And catching up on world news, I don't know if you guys heard, and I don't know any details about this, so I won't really be able to speak on it, and I don't want to speak out on something I don't really know. But there was a American journalist, I believe, that was just captured in Iran. So I'm going to add that to the prayer list too, and I'll be praying for that journalist because that's terrifying, man. I couldn't even imagine what that's like. Yeah, I'm still mind blown at that. I'm trying to think. There was another story that I had that I thought was absolutely insane. Oh, peep this, y'all. So we're not gonna watch this video, I guess, or actually maybe we can. Let me see what it is. It's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be that super interesting. But I don't know if you guys have been watching or following because there's been so many things going on in the world. Everybody kind of lost focus on this part. We're getting ready to do one of the I want to say it's the furthest distance traveled in space, like in our history. Okay, and it's about to happen very soon. So they're going to be launching this Artemis 2. I didn't do a ton of research on this. I just saw a couple blips yesterday on the news, and I did some research. And I was just kind of, or not research, but I found a couple of things on it. And yeah, man, they're going to be doing something we haven't done since 1972, bro. This is actually super exciting to me. I love space. I love space stuff. I love spaceships. I love aircraft. I'm an aviation nerd, bro. Like I'm just a complete nerd in general, but space really gets me going, man. I wish I was an astronaut. Like flying helicopters is cool. You're like, oh, cool, helicopter. That's fun for all of like whatever. That is dope to be like, hey man, I'm an astronaut, bro. Even if you went up for a little bit, I don't even care. I would still I got so much respect for them and what they do. But apparently, what are we looking at? So starting 15 hours before takeoff, man, when is it actually going to take off? Okay, so those are the countdowns. Okay, good. I hope it didn't already take off yet. I don't think so. Caught on camera right before. Okay. All right, man. They're just going into way too many details. We don't need to know none of that. Like hydrogen fueling and all these different stages. Okay. Skip. We know that. When is it actually going to leave? That's craziness, bro. Man, why are they giving so many details? What is that? When is this thing actually going to leave? So that's the countdown timer. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's the Artemis 2 that we're looking at, right? Artemis 2 launch date. I want to know the actual time and date, and then we can talk a little bit about it. Okay, April 1st. Yo. 6:24 p.m. EDT. All right, so this will be NASA's first crewed flight to the moon, carrying 4 astronauts on a 10-day journey around the lunar orbit. And apparently, from what I remember reading, I thought it was like the longest or the furthest that we've actually been in orbit. So I'm excited for that. I love stuff like this. Like I said, I am an absolute weather and aviation and flight and space nerd, bro. I love stuff like this. And I bet you the crazy thing is, and like I said, man, I'm not a astronaut by any means, so I don't know everything about it, but the launch is so reliant on specific factors that to even let them launch can be incredibly difficult. So what I mean by this is one small little change in like atmospheric pressure or heat or something that they didn't predict, and this thing gets scrubbed. So every time I watch these missile launches, I get so excited. I'm like, oh, they're going to be blowing up or they're going to be not blowing it up. They're going to be launching these missiles or why am I messing that up? Man, I told you guys I'm tired. They're going to be launching these rockets into space, and you're so excited to see it. And then it's like, nope, weather delay. Nope, weather delay. Delay after delay. There's just nothing but delays. It's terrible. So I really do hope that everything lines up and this thing can launch, because I think this will be a great thing for just America in general, man. The news has been so absolutely terrible lately that it's hard to stay positive, and it's hard to stay in a good mood after seeing all this craziness here. So I wanted to see if there's anything else. So I guess it is set. It looks like it's gonna go off. However, to launch, yeah, check this out. This is what I was talking about. Right where it says, however, to launch eagerly awaits flights depending on perfect weather conditions. And I don't know what the weather is tomorrow, but I hope that they can make this thing work. This will be huge for America, man. It's just something to kind of take our minds off all the negative stuff going on. 80% chance of favorable conditions. So I don't know, man. I mean, if that happens, that's going to be insane. It'll be such a major leap for us. Since 1972, that was the last time that we had that. Bro. Okay, yeah, this is what we're talking about. Man, I wasn't even playing. So I'm going to share a very short story with you guys, and then we're going to go into the details of that. But when I was doing air traffic control, I worked at 2 airports that were the emergency location, or the emergency like ditch spot for the space shuttle, okay? Because the runways have to be a certain length. I believe it's over 8,000 feet, and we had that at these 2 major airports. The crazy part about this is they give you a NASA phone that's inside of the tower if you work at one of these airports. NASA actually got pissed, and I think they actually fined them because people were ordering pizzas on the NASA phone. My boy Kari up in here too. Yo, what's up, dude? Yo, all right, hey man, we gotta catch up, Kari. We gotta catch up, bro, because we gotta start getting into the aviation stuff. I'm super pumped for you. I'm always praying for you too, man. So I'm really hoping that we can catch up, because I'm kind of interested to see where you're at right now with flight school, bro. We gotta do it, man. We got to go flying. I don't know much about fixed wing. Maybe what we can do is we can share information, because I'm a helicopter dude. I don't know. I rarely know anything about fixed wing. So you might have to school me up on that, man. And you timed in perfectly, because we were just talking about some aviation stuff, and we're getting into what I consider one of the most important things in aviation is weather, right? Like, weather is incredibly important here. And that airport that I was... Go get it, girl. So I think, because it's so niche, people don't really watch it, and it's a little bit slow paced. But for people like me and you, bro, I'll be watching that all day. I love Microsoft Flight Simulator, dog. I'm on that thing 24/7. I freaking love it. I actually, man, peep this. Hold on, Kari. I got you, bro. And then we're going to get into this other thing. Check this out, bro. Okay. First thing, right? So basic, nothing too crazy. If you get this, all right, it's a great flight stick, okay? Phenomenal. This is the Velocity 1, right? Velocity 1. Super good. It's reliable. This is why I hate this, bro. Yo, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Valiant01. I love your advice videos, man. Yo, I'm super pumped for you. How many years you got before you join in, or before you join up? And by the way, bro, this is my first live stream I think I've done in like a year or something like that. So, yeah, buddy, dude, I'm so excited to see you guys in here, man. I remember talking to you earlier, man. We had a little, I believe it was you. We talked a little bit a while ago, but I'm pumped, man. I am super pumped. 3 years. Okay, so you got a little bit. You got some planning, which is good. You can definitely start preparing ahead of time and getting into it. And are you planning on trying to sign up when you're 17? I think you can sign up at 17 now with parental consent. I believe they even did something recently that we can talk about, because they redid some of the requirements, like getting in and stuff. What? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous, because I bet you your brother loves Germany, right? Like, if you talk to him, I bet you he'll tell you he loves it. All my buddies that have been to Germany want to live in Germany forever now. So that's wild, bro. And we can help you with the OBS stuff, by the way. So, Kari, the OBS stuff, it sucks. Like, audio is absolutely terrible. So it's, man, I don't know. Dang, really? Man. Yeah, buddy. What? So they did that too? No, whoa, hey, they changed that? No, hold on, time out. Hold on. Did they really? Ain't no way. Hold on. Did they really, bro? Hold on. What? Man, how y'all gonna come into the stream and just change my world like that? Hold on. Why can't I spell? I cannot spell right now. All right. Bro, ain't no way, dog. Did they really do that? That is savage. Yo, there has been some changes, man. Yeah, you gotta hook me up, Kari. I'm mind blowing. Man, y'all got me out here wondering what the hell is going on in life right now. Dude, what is happening? That is crazy. Because I did see that they raised it to 42, which I don't know why they didn't do that earlier. Like, what's the reason that they don't, why don't they do that? Yo, man, Valiant, you know, I was actually thinking about it because here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I love live streaming so much. I love live streaming so much more than I say editing, right? Like, I like editing, but editing takes a long ass time, and I be getting tired sometimes. Let me check this. Dude, y'all got me like bugging out right now, bro. I can't even believe this. I'm losing my mind over here, man. What? Okay, I probably shouldn't be doing that shit. I'm gonna break my whole damn mic. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is this? Dang, y'all got me wilding out here, man. So you're telling me people be protesting? They're like, I'm not trying to go to war. You got all the Iranian stuff going on, and then they're trying to recruit people, and they're like, wait, hold on. If we recruit people, a lot of people out here smoking weed right now. Like, that's kind of a hard recruitment. You can't really fit those numbers, man. Oh, dude. Man. Hey, that's good. Good on them. Good move, military. Good move. Smart plays. And I was wondering why, bro. Is my audio even work? Yeah. So I was wondering why they even why they didn't make the age requirement a little bit higher to begin with, right? Because like 42 is not unreasonable to join. Is it going to be rough for 42-year-olds? Yeah, buddy. That man, I'm telling you right now. Let's go. 0321. Definitely go Force Recon, bro. You got to do it, man. I believe that's 21, right? Or is that Marsoc? No, 0321 is Force Recon. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Are they really? Dude, and by the way, Valiant, if you got the time, because you got a couple years before you join, bro, you can get into the best physical and mental shape that you can possibly imagine before you go in, before you drop into that program. There was a workout program when I was in. It was called Recon Ron. And he had a recon program, and I believe it was free. You could probably still look it up. Super dope program because it consisted of a lot of body weight stuff like pull-ups, push-ups, all that, like all the basics. But he had a whole program, and a lot of us in our unit went and started using that program because it had so many great like workout plans and stuff to prepare you to go into the special force side of things. So let's go, bro. Let's go. Valiant, you gonna go in there and kill it, man. I'm telling you, I'm super pumped for you guys. You don't even realize how excited I be getting for y'all, man, because the military to this day, I don't care what else like happened outside of it. It's been the greatest thing in my life, man. Yeah, dude. It's called Recon Ron. Let me see if he even still has a little thing. It was called Recon Ron. Let me make sure I'm right here. Recon Ron pull-up program. There it is. Yeah, if you Google it, I'm going to pull this up real quick. Yeah. Peep this, look. Recon Ron pull-up program. Because a lot of the things, or a lot of the issues that they had was pull-ups, right? Like pull-ups are so huge, especially it's like a very, very, very big component, especially if you're in the Marine Corps. This is a big part of your, like your score when you're trying to get promoted. You know, they're going to look at your PFT and you need to have some good pull-ups. So crazy, man. All right. So what's crazy, this is mind-blowing to me. So when I went in infantry, artillery, and open contract. That was my three options. And I went in back in 2007. It was the end of 2007. And I ended up getting a 5-year contract, which I didn't even know existed. Okay, so I signed up for 4 years, and the first school that they sent me to, and this pissed me off, man. I was so mad. They sent me in as air traffic control, right? And I was so upset with this decision because I'm like, wait, you're gonna put me into air traffic control? I don't even know what that is. I thought it was the dudes out on the airport that have the 2 little sticks and they're guiding planes in. I'm like, oh, hell no. Nah, don't do that to me. Like, man, I can't. I wanted out of that. And I actually made a funny video of this whole thing. But what's wild is I was trying to get like phased out. I hated it. I just wanted to drop and go to like grunt side or whatever it is. And I ended up, this is 2000, so 2008, 2009. So I went through it. I got through the whole thing. And MARSOC had just staged at this time. And MARSOC, or they hadn't just staged, but MARSOC had actually opened up to all ranks in all MOSs. So it used to be like you go infantry, if you're going to follow that pipeline, right? Like you would go infantry, then you would try to be top of your class infantry, and then you would try to go into force recon. Like that's kind of that progression, at least when I was in, right? So MARSOC was saying, hey, we're going to let you come in. We don't care what MOS you are. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I went straight to my sergeant at the time, and we went straight down there to go to MARSOC. So I did like the program and everything. I was getting ready to go into it. And then what was wild is that they told me, or they kicked me essentially back to my unit, and they said, you can't go MARSOC because you're in a critical MOS, which is air traffic control. Okay. I was pissed. Hated it. Then I ran into this dude, Sergeant Clark. Love this guy. And he was like, hey man, we have like a special area inside of air traffic control. It's like combat controllers, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know what combat controllers are, but what the hell is this? The Marine Corps doesn't have combat controllers, right? So we have something called a Marine Mobile Team. And I managed to get onto the mobile team, right? Yeah, man, I loved it, dude. I wanted to go. That's the only reason I even joined the Marine Corps, right? And since COVID, I didn't even think about that. COVID. Yo, with the vaccines, oh man, I'm kind of curious how that's gonna play out. A lot of people have been getting like terrible illnesses, mysterious stuff coming up from that. But yeah, man, I was so upset. I was like upset, man. I lost my mind. But he was like, yeah, there's something called a Marine Mobile Team. It's essentially the Marine Corps' version of like the Air Force's combat controllers, just not as badass. Like the combat controllers are on a whole nother level. They're up there with like SEAL teams. Like they're freaking insane, okay? But our little 7-man team is modeled after the TAC-Ps and after all these, a little bit of PJs, because we do some PJ stuff as well. So the pararescue jumpers and all that. So this Marine Corps mobile team that most people don't even know about, I'm going to pull up a little thing on it. It's actually dope. Loved it, man. So when I went to Afghanistan, I was on what they call this Marine Mobile Team, right? So it's a specialized unit within the Marine Corps. And this is what's kind of crazy. So the way that nobody ever knows what this unit even is. Nobody ever even talks about this. And whenever I tell people, I'm like, yeah, man, I was on a Marine Mobile Team. Bro, I've had sergeant majors who are like, man, that's bullshit. Never heard of that. I'm like, man, come on now. Like, don't do me that dirty just because it's a small unit. They call BS on me. And I'm like, it is a real thing, man. I'm with Max 2. I'm with Detachment Bravo. I'm on the Marine Mobile Team. They're like, bullshit, But yeah, man, it works. So this remote area landing site team, right? This is what's so crazy. There's a reason that we made this team, right? So the MMT is a dynamic force multiplier, enhancing the offensive combat power and all this stuff, whatever. So here's what's so crazy. The MMT is designed to be self-sufficient for 72 hours without resupply, ensuring our readiness. Now, what's interesting about the MMT in general is, and I'm not going to give you a super boring history lesson, and also I don't remember all the details of it, so it probably ain't gonna be good. But back in the day, they were doing some type of like a rescue mission, right? And I believe it was a Hosku rescue at the time. They went to go land in the desert, and there was a brownout because all that sand that's out there, it's all moon dust and stuff. So they had staged a bunch of refueling aircraft, and some other helicopters and stuff were going to come in and land. They were going to refuel, and then they were going to bounce. Well, what ended up happening is they lost sight of the aircraft on the ground. They ended up colliding, blew up everything. Everybody, there was tons of, I believe, fatalities in it. And then the Marine Corps finally decided, they're like, wait, we need to have air traffic controllers that are all steer that we can drop into these remote places. Sometimes it's hostile. Most of the time it is. If you drop it in, they're doing it. But then the team is also like, they say that we're self-sustainable for 72 hours. And I would say, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's accurate. They say self-sufficient for 72. I think we might be a little bit more than that. I want to say add a day or two to that. Add 96. Let's say 96 hours. Because my team, when we were out operating, sometimes we'd be out there for, 4 days. So I want to say 96 hours. Now, not ammo-wise, because when you go out, you don't have a ton of ammo. Right? It's not like you can pack like a absolute ton. You have a small little team, and we usually don't have any extra support. So we're trying to not be seen by people. We're not trying to get into contact. That's not the game plan for the Marine Mobile team. You're kind of expanding the forward edge of the battlefield because you can go in with a small 7-man team, drop them in the middle of nowhere, and we can set up runways, and we can do all these different things that a lot of people don't really even know exist. Like, I didn't even know about this freaking thing, right? And the only complaint, I got some crazy stuff. I got to complain about the MMT. I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind, bro. Oh man, I got a funny thing for you. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I want to say 96 hours, man. 96. Let's see. All right. The best branch, unbiased, but by info and the hardest to get into and most active. Okay. There's gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be an interesting one. I might actually even blow my own mind on this one. Best branch. I'm gonna go ahead and say best. All right, oh, man, dang, this is a tough one. Okay. There's so many factors going through my brain right now of what I would consider the best branch, right? So I'm gonna break it down. I think if I had to rate number one, no biases, best branch, I'm gonna still go with Marine Corps. I'm gonna go with Marine Corps, and there's a very specific reason. Even if I wasn't in the Marine Corps, the reason that I go so hard onto Marine Corps is because the Marine Corps is just, it's more unique, right? I'm not gonna bash. Click the left, dude. No worries, man. I'm still answering the question. So you got perfect timing, dude. Perfect timing. And my dog is sitting on my leg. I'm just trying to maneuver so she doesn't crush me. So here's the thing, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say no bias. Okay, no bias here. The Marine Corps for the specialties, and there's a very specific thing about the Marine Corps that people don't know. The Marine Corps is the only branch inside of the entire military that does two things. There's two things very special. The first thing is the Marine Corps does not need a congressional act of war to be deployed into combat, okay? Which is nuts. So if you want to send Army, you need to declare war. You got to declare war, man. You want to send Navy, declare war. Right? It has to be this declaration of war for them to engage in it. Not the Marine Corps. It's the only branch that does that. That was the first thing, right? Because I'm like, dang, that's actually kind of badass. Do you notice on the news when they were like, hey, they're sending in 3,500 Marines, but we're not in war? That's why. They're the only ones. But there's something else about the Marine Corps, right? So the Marine Corps, on top of this, and I think there's a little bit more known thing about the Marines, but if you go to any branch inside of the military, so let's say you go Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Space Force, right? And you want to go from any one of those branches to the Marine Corps, you have to go to Marine Corps boot camp. If you go into Marine Corps boot camp, right, and you become a Marine and you say, now I want to be Air Force, you can go right into the Air Force. You do not go through their boot camp, right? So, but if the Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, soldier, and anybody that's in any of those, or Coasties, any other of those people, so they've passed their own boot camp, they've spent time in the military, and now they decide, I don't like the Coast Guard anymore, I want to go into the Marine Corps, they're going to Marine Corps boot camp. It's the only one that does that. So that was another thing, and I think that's why I just say best branch, because those two things are so differentiating between the forces that it kind of makes me just already look at them in a different light, right? Like they always say tip of the spear. So on that regard, on uniqueness, yeah, dude, I think the other big one, man, is I think the Brotherhood. I'm going to label this as 3. So I'm going to go down the ranks here. I think 3 is the traditions and the Brotherhood, right? If you look at Army, for an example, Air Force is up there for me. We're going to talk about Air Force, Kari, because I love the Air Force now. Like, Air Force is up there for me. One of my favorite branches, too, by the way. That's actually my number 2. But the interesting thing is, like, all right, so let's see. So Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines. Okay. Man. Yo, I love Nico Ortiz. The dude is hilarious, man. I love that dude. I wish I was that big too. That dude has a huge following. Yeah, I did notice he's a little bit more silly and goofy and stuff like that. But okay, so let's see. So Kari, why do you put the Marines at the end? Why the Marines gotta be at the last one, bro? What are we doing? What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? You got to explain that logic. Because, like, I would say the other thing. So this is why I really, really genuinely like the Marine Corps, right? It's the Brotherhood. So it's unlike any other branch. And even other branches will talk about this. That, like, you talk to people that are in the Army, people that are in the Navy, people that are in all these branches, and they're like, yo, nothing is like the Marine Corps. Nothing is like that branch. The Marine Corps Brotherhood, the bond and everything is so much deeper. It is insane, man. Like, absolutely mind-blowing how close you get to these Marines. And I think there's a very unique reason for it. But yeah, dude, I love yo, you're the one that put me on with Jake, and I've been watching his videos. Have been blowing up, dude. He's been doing good. He had a live stream the other day. I was freaking sick, man. It's because I heard bad things about it and the promotion is slow. Oh, yo, we can talk about that too. I'll give you the negatives of the Marine Corps, right? It's not all good. It's not all good. Because I think you're right. I think, yeah, man. Yeah, there's some stuff to talk about for that, man. All right, he put Air Force, then the gays, then the grunters, bro. Yeah, man. Like, the Brotherhood is just different. And the Marine Corps is like that, I feel like, because of the traditions, right? So I talk to my Army friends, and they'll have not a patch, but they'll have like an insignia or something like that. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of cool. Why do you have it on the left side? They're like, I don't know. It's just where they tell us to put it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. I'm like, what's that, the symbol on your hat? Like, what does that mean? Like on your cover? They're like, I don't know. You know, and then they'll know certain things. They're like, oh yeah, this is from like a battle or whatever that, you know, they had back in the day, and they wore like the yellow sleeves or something, right? So it's kind of crazy, because when he was talking, or when I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about how my buddies were telling me that they don't really understand even some of their uniforms. I'm like, really? You know, when you talk about the Marine Corps, even your belt loops, okay? When you're putting your belt on, they're like, make sure you put your belt on and you don't miss the 7 C's. The red blood stripe that Marine NCOs have, that these officers have. You're like, why does it that some Marines have a blood stripe going down their leg and others don't, right? So like the Marine Corps blood stripe. And I'll show you a picture of it. But yeah. What the dude, I did not expect that. Timeout. Blood stripe. What is that? I want the Marine Corps blood stripe. Dude, man, that kind of freaked me out for a second. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect to see that. Let's just do USMC real quick. So we got it from the Battle of Chapultepec, okay? It was one of the bloodiest battles where we lost some of the most NCOs and officers, essentially, right? It was a horrible battle. And that's why when you wonder, you're like, why do I only see a couple of Marines wear it? And that is not the blood stripe, y'all. What the hell is that? What is this? Man, are they doing, that's a blood stripe ceremony? Oh man, I shouldn't even be doing live streams, because this thing be opening up so many things. I'm about to lose my freaking mind here. What is this? Time out. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not happy with that. This is the blood stripe that we were talking about, right? So they had that blood stripe, and yeah, man, it's like, you know, the Marine Corps has it's just rooted in tradition, and you know about it from the very beginning, of like Tun Tavern, 1775. Like, they know everything about it, dude. Yeah, I saw Blood Stripe Marine Corps at the parade. Yeah. So, exactly, man. That, you know, parades and other events, right? And have you noticed that whenever you're seeing it, some of them have it and some of them don't. And this is how you can always tell stolen valor, y'all. You can always tell stolen valor because the only person, if you look in this picture, right? Let's just click this picture real quick. Do you guys see all these blood stripes? So they all got blood stripes. I'm going to give you a few seconds here. Do you see what they all have in common right now? It might be kind of hard. What am I doing? I don't even have it pulled up. I'm sorry, y'all. God dang. Oh, dude, no worries, bro. I appreciate you so much for showing up, man. And I love seeing that member badge. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, dog. I appreciate you more than anything, man. Like, that helps motivate me and helps drive me so much more than I can genuinely express. I'm going to try to get that other video out that's going to be a little bit better, or maybe something that I can address some of the mental health stuff like that. Because, dude, that's crazy, man. I'm so sorry that the video didn't go as planned, man. I was hoping to be able to help. I should have taken that out. I'll take it out and re-upload it or something too. I think I might just do that. But yeah, man, you have a good one, brother. It's an absolute pleasure, and no worries. I understand stuff happens. I be bouncing in and out of streams too. So yeah, man, it's always a pleasure seeing you, man. Let's see, when you come into Atlanta, dude, I got to, man. I want to go out to the church, 2819, bro. I'm trying to go out and see 2819. I'm trying to see Pastor Mitchell. That I want to go to Atlanta so bad for that, bro. Like, that is my favorite pastor all time. I love the church 2819. So I would love to go to Atlanta. Next guy told me he's a couple of stories and how some of his buddies died. Dang. Yeah, bro. That's crazy, man, because, you know, if you look at this picture right now that I actually have it pulled up, do you guys notice something about all these Marines that have blood stripes? Something important about each one of these Marines. They all have it. And let me know if you see it. If you see it yet. How about this picture? Ah, you can't see the bottoms. Hold on. Does this one have it? Yeah. Who that is? Why he got that on? No. What the hell? Hold on. What? Very close, man. This is a tough one. This is a very, very, very tough one, bro. And this is the reason I say this is tough, is this is how so many people mess up when they do stolen valor. Okay. I'm trying to find a good picture so I can point it out. I want to see a couple of them lined up. Dang, they're always covered. I want to find the, maybe this one. Yes. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So they have the stripes in the pants, right? So you have this guy right here has a blood stripe. So why does he have a red stripe on his leg? And why don't these guys have any? Right? Do you get it yet? Do you see it? All right, I'll fill you in. Because I had to learn this too. I had no freaking clue, bro. If I was going to do stolen valor back in the day, I would have gotten busted quick. So remember I said in the Battle of Chapultepec, you had these Marines, the NCOs, so non-commissioned officers, so corporals and above, E4s, and officers were the ones that were most impacted, or they're the ones that died the most, right? So it was the bloodiest battle. Yeah, bro. And pretty much the experience is there, right? Because the only people that rate to get the blood stripe is those non-commissioned officers. So if you look, you have a Lance Corporal and a Lance Corporal, no blood stripe, right? Because they're not a corporal yet. Once they become a corporal, they'll earn that blood stripe. And this guy, so I think this is a sergeant, it's hard to see. Yeah, so he has 3 stripes up. So this dude right here, sergeant with like, what, 5'10", like a crazy amount of time in service, or 4'8", he got 12 years in, and he has his blood stripe, right? So that's the biggest thing. And if you look at stolen valor, you'll see these dudes. I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture of it because it's absolutely hilarious. Man, let me close the picture. Man, hold on, let me close this thing and now I'll bring it back up. All right, check this out. Marine stolen valor. Check this out. This shit's hilarious, y'all. This shit's funny. Let me see if I can find a good one. Oh, this guy. No. There was I'm going to go on YouTube real quick. Let's do that. There was a video I'm about to show you. You'll see it immediately. You're like, wait, this does not line up. Marine stolen valor. And you're going to see exactly what I mean, y'all. Peep this. I think it's this guy. Yeah, is it him? If it's him, it might be.
Your shit's not even straight.
It might be. It might be. Wow. Nope. I gotta find this, man. This is gonna drive me nuts. I have to find this dude. But I can't find it, man. I ain't gonna waste my whole day on it. But the guy was wearing so he was a private or a PFC or something like that, right? So he wasn't a non-commissioned officer, and he had a blood stripe on. And that's usually the dead giveaway. You're like, nah, ain't no way that dude has a blood stripe as a PFC or a private. But it's hard because it's like, who the hell knows that? How would you know that unless you're in the freaking Marine Corps, right? So that's something that always makes me laugh with the stolen valor dudes, because they struggle with the small details, because the Marine Corps is rooted in such a huge tradition, like all the way down to this. How do you blouse your boots in the Marine Corps? Left over right. It gets down to left over right of how you lace your boots. So if you're walking by and you see a Marine, you can look at his boots and you're like, bro, right over left, out of there. Now, this is the rumor behind it. Okay, there is a reason behind everything. So there's a reason behind the Battle of Chapultepec for that blood stripe, right? There's a reason that and this is a rumor, I don't know if this is true, fact check me, but I heard that back in the day, they told all Marines for their uniforms, because we're all making sure that everything is like identical, right? They said you go left over right, and they noticed that somebody on a boat, this is during like a conflict like World War II or something, they noticed on the boat, one of the Marines didn't have his boots right over left, the laces. So that's what I'm talking about, by the way, is the laces, like left over right. So he was a Japanese spy. And that's how they found out, because his boots were laced. So the Marine Corps, I've enjoyed certain things about him, and then I've not liked certain things about him. Like, I like how his aggressiveness, or maybe not his aggressiveness, his assertiveness, right? To not let other countries bully us and push us around. Like I said, policies and other stuff, I don't really, I'm not a big supporter on it. And I usually just align what's closest. And I'll always say this, because this is very true. I align what's closest with Christian values, because that's so important to me. So if they are leaning to pushing very Christian values on stuff, then I'm all for them. You know, like that's who I want. I want the Christian that's going to be in there, because that's who I align with, you know. And I think those values and everything, like, Car, you know, man, we be reading the Bible, bro. Everything that God tells us in the Bible is 100% living, breathing, real, true word. And on top of it, everything that he says, or that God tells us in the Bible, only betters your life. You know, have you noticed that? It's always good stuff. If you follow the Bible, dude, you'll live like a nice, happy, healthy life. So, yeah, man. It's kind of cool. Let me see what this says. All right. All right. Do they give you a contract and I go deep in the military stuff after you leave? So, that's a tough one, man. There's a couple things I want to say in order to like kind of break this down. I think it depends on your job. Very much so your job, right? Because some jobs will never need a security clearance. Some need a top secret clearance. And my buddies that were weather had a top secret clearance, right? But there's not anything that I can think of that's so much per se is like what you can't do, like, you know, should you not do, like, or you can't speak on this or tell the secrets or something like that. There are some things that we had to, but they're usually more time critical. So for an example, you know how people say, oh, my job was classified. Most things are classified until they're over, right? Unless it's like some crazy super, I think even Bin Laden stuff, like there was stuff that's classified obviously, and then it takes a little bit longer, but it's time, that type of stuff is usually more time critical, right? Like if I know when we're going to launch an attack on a base, that's classified information, because if that gets into the wrong hands, then you can have a super serious potential like brutal fatality and mess here if that gets out. So the second that raid is done, so let's say it's the next day, right? We raided, compounds done, wiped out, captured, leaders, whatever. The next day, does it matter that we were going to do a raid at 4 a.m.? No, that was yesterday. The raid's done. So that becomes declassified. There's not too many things I can think of. And maybe I think my buddy, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this too. He worked on submarines, and there were some things that I don't know if it's the technology. I think it was a radar system or something like that, where he was like, you know, we were pretty much signed a contract, like we're not going to disclose that information. A big one is if you are in the, and I don't know if this is still true. It was true when I was in. They told us in Afghanistan you can take pictures of Humvees, or sorry, not Humvees, MRAPs, and you cannot take the picture underneath them because there's a certain technology. It says blast technology. I don't even know what the hell it is anyway. I'm like, even if you showed me a picture of it, I don't know all the details. Okay, and even if I did, I wouldn't say it. But yeah, you couldn't take pictures of it. So I thought that was interesting. And oh man, this has been on my mind. Oh man, Kari, now we talking, bro. And I'll tell you, this has been on my mind for a while. Let me get comfy for a second here. So, do I think World War III will happen? I think, and this is all me. This is my personal opinion. This is obviously not based in what's gonna happen. But I do think when we talk, amen, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. I always talk about God, man. But World War III, I think the likelihood of it is very probable at this time. Like there's very high tensions, right? So everything right now is still escalating. So when we usually look at it, if we look at history, right? Most of the operations and most of everything that we've done takes a lot longer than they think. So what turns into 2 months turns into 2 years, right? Like that's how Iraq was. Iraq was supposed to be a quick, we're going to run in, take them over. They were Fedayeen at the time. They were some Iraq or some, Taliban or Al-Qaeda and the Fedayeen, which was Saddam's forces. And at the time, we're like, you know what? We're going to go in there. We're the most advanced military in the world. We're going to storm them, kill them, take all their stuff, whatever, boom, and be done. Turned into 20 years. Same thing with Iran. So we've been looking at Iran and the escalation. We know that Iran as a country, they've always hated us, right? They are majority, not the people. The people are wonderful people. The regime, the leaders have been known terrorists, been for many years. They're not hiding that, and they're not going to negotiate with us. And there is nothing in it for them except for, be bombed. So, because if they're like, okay, we're going to open up the strait, what does that do for them? They just stop getting bombed for a little bit. They're already in a retaliatory mindset because we've already been striking so much. So I think right now when you're sending forces, especially when you're looking at Marines, and the 82nd Airborne is kind of a big one. If you look at 82nd Airborne and what their actual job does, or what their job is, they take over airfields. Like airfield seizure is a big one for them, and amphibious assault is big for the Marine Corps, the two people that you have advancing in the Hormuz Strait. And just off of that strait is Karg Island. Karg Island right now is a very, 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 very critical spot on that, like in that entire strait, right? So when you look at Karg Island, you have that airfield that's right on the bank of it. So, possible ground invasion, I think it's very likely at this point because you have a strategic military location, you have the Strait of Hormuz, you have Iran, and you have the 82nd Airborne that's known for this operation right here. You have SEAL deployment vehicles that have been spotted with Navy SEALs getting set up. And then you have the Marines, right? So you have three occupational forces that are all getting ready to their staging. So is a ground threat imminent? Very much so. Very much so. And historically, when we were just going back and forth, but historically, when you looked at the bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? So we're talking about like World War II, we're dropping bombs on them, right? Or whatever it was, like bombing them, right? The crazy stuff that is mind-blowing is usually nuclear is not planned, right? Nobody's planning and saying, hey, look, in 2 months we're gonna hit them with nukes. They don't ever do that. That doesn't make a ton of sense, right? it's usually in response to something retaliatory. So if you look and think about why would Iran go nuclear, right? So right now they're at what, 60% enriched uranium. They need 90% for it to be weapons grade. I think they already have that. I think we're underestimating them as a country. I really do. And I think, in order to get to weapons grade, you're looking at 90% enrichment. That's doable, right? And then they said, oh, you need to get it into a deliverable. So the bomb form, probably already have it. I wouldn't be surprised, okay? They've been doing this for many years. So we know, based off of these couple things, right? You have a strategic military location. You have a regime that's not going to negotiate with us. They're terrorists. And even if they wanted to negotiate and they agreed to it, they would turn around and stab us in the back and attack us anyway. So you have that. Then you have the occupational forces that are staging in this area. So imminent ground invasion. And the only thing that sucks about this, and why I say World War III could be, is when you push this regime to the brink. Let's say they know at this point they're going to get overrun completely. That would be a good time for Iran to say, who cares? Do whatever nuclear stuff you have, I'd launch it, because you're going to get overthrown anyway. You're back against the wall. You can back the nicest animal up into the wall, and if they feel like they can't escape and you're going to kill them, they'll bite you, bro. You can be the nicest animal ever. It's the same thing. You have a regime that's going to topple and they don't want to see it topple, nuke it, right? So you have that, and then I think another option of what would escalate it into that World War III area here is you have Japan testing long-range missile systems that they haven't done in a while to just make sure that they're still on the offensive, right? All right, they're still capable. And other nations that are all forming up and doing talks and everything, and they're all planning, because obviously if you have the U.S. coming after one regime, a big scary thing for countries like Turkey is, are we next? So it's scary. It's because, that could be what they're going to that they're going to move into, So it could. I think those things would definitely push it towards World War III. Like that could set it off so hard and so viciously fast. It would be mind blowing if they did. Like I said, I don't know if they're 100% capable of nuclear with their current enrichment, but I think it's a lot better than what the news says. I don't believe the news 100% with that. Yep, if we as a country, or a whole in the country, stay close to God and not sway, we will be triumphant. That's, that is so true. That is the scariest thing if you really think about it. If we can stay true and we can continue to follow God's path and God's way, and like you said, as long as we're not like turning into ancient Rome here, which I hope not. I hope that we cannot do that. I hope that we can stay in whatever God has planned for this country and stay in his good graces, because especially defending Israel, right? Because that is a huge thing for Christians. So yeah, if we can stay on that and not start trying to dominate and overthrow just to overthrow other regimes, that would be nice, because we would be toast. I could not imagine what that would look like if God took his protection off of America. If it wasn't one nation under God, oh man, I don't even want to know what that would look like. And you're right, we would be absolutely destroyed. And I think that's something that it's a very, very, it's a difficult thing when you look at military operations, right? Because there's so many different logistics, there's so many things that are in play, and it just keeps moving. Oh no. Oh. One sec. My battery died. Let me swap it. I literally bought a brand new battery for this because I knew when I was streaming I would need it, and now where the hell is it at? Oh, there it is. Alright, I got you. Let me swap this battery real quick. It'll only take me 2 seconds. If I can figure it out. One of these things. Oh, there it is. I got it. Yeah. try to get it back onto the thing so it's a little bit better. All right. Yeah. Man, this thing sucks. This thing is making me mad. All right, there we go. All right. Got it. That's the first time I actually had to change that. I had to change that thing. Dude, I wanted to do a webcam too, but the only problem I ran into is that with the webcam, it doesn't let me, like, I think there's some that are good with like 4K, but I have this really nice Olympus camera that does phenomenal, dude. Like, it's so good, and it's so good with like low light. I don't even know where that, I was gonna charge up the other battery, but maybe I can do that next time. Whatever, I'll find the charger for this thing. Dude, what is going on, bro? I'm my mind out here, man. Just because it's a lot easier and I don't have to worry about changing out the batteries. Oh, you know what? I might be able to get one. I just hope it's a good one. That's the only thing. Maybe I'll do like a webcam. I'll try that instead of using this. Because then I can just keep the webcam up and make things easier. And when I go to record, but this is such a professional, like, grade webcam or camera that it makes it easier. It makes my life easier, you know? But yeah, dude, let's see. Let me go back and just catch this. Like, okay, you going to we keep living in sin. Bro, I'm telling you, man, ain't that the truth? That's the thing. That's a big part. I think a lot of people don't understand, man. Any man's like waked up to a I mean, that's how I'm feeling. I'm kind of wondering that myself. Like, I kind of have that feeling where it's like, am I gonna wake up and it's just gonna be nothing that I expected? Am I gonna wake up to a brand new country where I'm just like, what is going on? Just because things have turned, and things can turn so quick. That's the scariest part about it. Make me look terrible right there. You know, it's like things happen so quick, especially when you talk about military stuff, like just operations in general. You know, things that you think you're going into are perfect, and they're not. They're actually going terrible. The enemy has so much more in store for you that it's very difficult to really know what's going on until something happens, and then it feels instant. Like there's been a retaliatory attack, and it's overnight, and it's also on the other side of the world. And yeah, I think with the repentance thing, it's crazy because a lot of places still live horribly in sin, and they don't care, and they taunt it, and they mock God. They mock Jesus, man. And that's why, you know, even the Olympics, remember they mocked the Last Supper, you know, openly mocked it. So when I see things like that, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I hope that there's enough people that are in, you know, I was going to say the world, but I hope enough people are in America that kind of have that light, you know, because I feel like a lot of Christians, like, we are the life and the blood, and that is what keeps God on our side, right? So think about Lot, man. When Lot was getting ready to go to like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Or sorry, he was already in Sodom and Gomorrah, and you know, Abraham was like, hey, you know, God, are you going to go down there? Because he knew God's about to go down there and smite them. And he was like, oh, if there's, you know, 50 people that are believers, like if there's 50 people that believe in you and that are not, you know, sinning and living in sin, will you spare them? You know, and then he asked, and he was like, yes. What about 10? What about 5? What about 1? Like, I don't remember the exact numbers. I don't remember my scripture that good, but I know the basis of it. And God is like, okay, I'll spare them if there's at least 10 people, you know, 5 people, 1 person, whatever. And I think about that too when we look at the people that you have in America. You have so many Christians and so many people that are the prayer warriors that are holding that ground, that are keeping that good grace for us, man. That's why I think it's so important for so many people, especially all these people that are coming up right now, a lot of pastors that are getting very famous and very popular, and they're actually spreading great biblical things because it keeps that faith growing. And that's why I like the Church of 2819 so much, you know. But yeah, I think that's huge for us. So my family, that if the grid goes down, we lose communication. I love them and call on Jesus and never lose your faith. I mean, that's another scary part too, is the infrastructure of that, because, you we're humans, where we have errors, and anything. This is why I was always told, if there's anything that's ever made by a human, like, it can be destroyed, right? Like, if it's made by man, it can have an issue, can have an error, because we're prone to that. We're not perfect, we're not flawless. So having that error, yeah, could our grid be attacked in different infrastructures inside of the United States? Damn yeah, man. Or damn right, yeah, they can. So it's scary. It's scary, and that's what I'm kind of hoping too. I'm like, yeah, my family knows. I said I love all you guys, even though I don't talk to them too terribly much anymore. Everybody's been busy, things are going on. I still try my best. I always love them. I've never lost a sliver of the love that I have in my heart for my family. Most important thing to me. Must read the Maccabees. Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've never. Let me write that down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay. See, that's interesting. See, I learn new stuff every day. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm gonna have to peep that, because I didn't realize. Yeah, because it's not. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna leave that page up because I don't want to lose that. But yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? What are you guys thinking? You guys think we're starting to push towards that World War III area? You think that we're getting on the brink of it? Because it feels like escalation is just getting even crazier. It doesn't feel like it's slowing down. Let me look to see what's Is there any other world news? Because to catch up a little bit, did you guys see that? I believe was it a journalist? I believe a journalist was captured and taken hostage in Iran today. 17 minutes ago, I guess Trump is going to address the nation with important update. Oh, it says at 9 Eastern. After he said he expects. I don't know. Oh, what day is it today? Is it Tuesday? Man, man, they got me all messed up. Okay, dude, I was just looking at this for a sec. I was just looking at this. Yeah, so I guess he's going to address the nation on Wednesday, so after 9 p.m. So, I mean, I just really hope that we can keep in God's good graces. That's what I'm really hoping, because I'm just, the more that we pushed away from God, I mean, we took God out of schools, we took God out of the Pledge of Allegiance, we even took the Pledge of Allegiance out of the schools. We done took everything away. We take all these different things away from God, and we try to do all that. It's just like, oh man, dude. I love the King James version, right? And one of my let me get this real quick. Let me peep that card. Let me peep that. It's so cool because they have like the U Bible app, right? One of my favorite Bible apps that there is. The reason I like it is I can change back and forth between different versions, because sometimes I'll be reading the King James version. The King James version is amazing. Like it makes me feel like I am living there. And then I'll get to a point and I'm like, I have no idea what I just read. I have to go back and then read it again. Valiant, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome back, bro. I'm glad to have you back. My camera died a few minutes ago and I got enough battery for a while. So I got a while, man. I'll see how much longer I can stream, how much more voice I got up in me. But sometimes I don't know about whatever the words are, and I'm like, let me go and look at the other version. I'll look at like the American Standard Version, or even I think it's like it's called the new version. So the propography. What? Why did it? Dude. What the fuck is this? Bro, I tried to pull that up and and it's funny because I literally copy pasted a propography, right? And it pulls up Merriam-Webster dictionary pornography. Dude, it kills me. And yes, sir, Valiant. I'm a super Christian, man. Absolutely love Christ. Christ is everything to me. That's my king. So you'll always see it in my videos and stuff like that. I always mention God because that's been a huge part of my life. I've always followed Jesus, man. Number one in my life. Nothing above him, So you'll hear me like say things or reference it and stuff like that. All right, man, Car, you had me mess up. I'm like, man, had me pulled up. I'm not even kidding, bro. Peep this. Look what it pulled up. Definition and meaning. See, this is why I'm glad I always keep my I always have my safe search set to, I think it's like medium or something like that. So I'm glad I had it, man. Who knows what would have been pulled up right there, Kari? Setting me up. The weather balloon went over my house. What? Yo, that is wild. That is, yo, I couldn't imagine. That would freak me out so much. Yeah, that would terrify me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm already a little bit paranoid about stuff, but I think that would kind of freak me out. Weather balloon flies over the house and then the power goes. Nope. Dang. And yes, let's go, Valiant. I love it, man. So that's why you'll hear it in a lot of my videos and stuff like that. I'm always talking about God, man. I can never seem to shut up about it. No matter what conversation I have with people, it ends up going to God. Like it always finds its path back, man. And I'm not perfect with the scriptures. I'm getting a little bit better. So I do remember a lot of like the stories of meaning behind things. I'm terrible with names, so I'm still catching up on names and stuff like that. But I've been trying to stay with a very consistent reading schedule. So every day I'm reading. I'm getting through the beginning. Actually, sorry, I'm in the beginning of Exodus again because I decided to go back and read the Bible all over. And I started with Genesis, and now I'm in Exodus. And it's right where I'm right in the beginning. I think it's like chapter 4 or 5, right when Moses is starting to get sent to Egypt, and he's talking to God like, "Don't send me. I'm not a well-spoken man, bro. Like I'm not good at public speaking. I'm not." So he keeps trying to, tell God like, I should not be talking to the Pharaoh here to release your people. So God is like, all right. Gets upset a little bit, but is like, you know what, Moses, I'm gonna hook you up. Bring Aaron. I'm gonna let Aaron and you both do your thing. So, yeah, man, I'm right there, and I love it. Like that's my favorite part, and I'm thinking about it, and I put myself in Moses' shoes, and I'm like, man, that is tough. You gotta have some blind faith there, man, for that. Oh, see, I gotta get into Nehemiah, man. I always mess that. Nehemiah. I gotta get into it, man. I gotta get back into it because the part that always gets me is like numbers really slows me down just because it's so much. But now I'm reading back through with a lot more of intention when I'm reading the Bible this time, because at first, like the first time I read it, I'm like, I just want to be able to get through it and say, hey, I read the Bible, right? And then the second time or whatever, I'm kind of reading through and I'm not pulling everything in. I'm just kind of skipping through it. And then this time I'm going through and I'm like, I'm going to try to remember the names, because I just kept saying to myself, I'm bad with names. I'm bad with numbers. I'm going to forget. And then I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that this time. I'm going through and I'm making sure that I'm reading each thing and taking it in as much as I can, and then analyzing and thinking about it. I'm like putting myself in Moses' shoes right now and stuff, man. I love it. The Lion of Judah, man. Love it. Yes. And yeah, Psalm 83 and Ezekiel 38 war. I just read that the other day. My grandmother sent that, and I was like, all right, I had to check it out. And it's prophecy. Everything that God says is, I mean, that's the only thing God can't do, y'all, is lie. Like, God cannot lie. So everything that he tells you in that book is going to happen at some point or another. And it's just scary when you read Ezekiel 38 and you look at the Ezekiel 38 war. It's crazy. Scary stuff. It's all about the battle. Fight with one hand, build with the other. Yep, 100%. Man, that's beautiful, though. Fight with one hand and build with the other. I like that. Oh, that's beautiful. And I got a half sleeve. I got my half. I need to get the rest done. I have another, like I have a half sleeve here, and then I got to get the other. Yeah, this. I don't even think you guys, man, I don't think you guys ever see this, bro. Check this out. I don't think you guys have seen my other tattoo. I never really show it off. I did that suction cup therapy stuff the other day, so hopefully you don't see all the crazy bumps or whatever, but you can actually see it. Yeah, what you do, holding the skull. Crazy. That was like when I got that so many years ago. I got that when I got back in Afghanistan. I'm like, I need to I told him, I'm like, man, just give me like the meanest looking like tattoo. I love that one. I love that one. All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. And I got my right hand done. So because this is my idea. Let me tell you real quick the idea behind this one, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do, bro. Like, this is where I'm so excited for this tattoo idea. So, because I love tattoos, you know, and if I had more cash, because tattoos are expensive. Tattoos are pricey as hell. But this is what okay. Yo, I love that. So, thank you, man. And thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, bro. I've been fighting for a while. I got court next month again. I'm still facing like some pretty bad stuff, but it is what it is, man. I trust God. I feel so happy. I feel so blessed where I am right now, because I feel this is how I always tell everybody this, man. I always tell everybody this. You can't have a testimony without the test. So how am I going to get up in front of people and be like, hey, man, I'm going to help you guys with mental health stuff, and I want to be positive, and I want to, you know, pray, and I want to do these different things, and I want to have this, you know, I guess, like a presentation to myself, and try to be that person when I'm not going through crazy things and can't still pull out of it, right? So I like having the test, and I started to look at everything differently, as instead of, man, God, why is this happening to me? Like, I did no wrong. I'm innocent. Like, why did I have to lose everything, right? And I'm like, I'm not looking at it in that frame anymore, right? It's more of thanking God every day for my challenges, because I'm so excited that he chose me for it, right? I'm like, man, God must think highly of me, because what do they always say? God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I don't know if I believe that anymore. I think God gives you more than you can handle, but then he carries that extra weight that you didn't think that you could. So he's the one that lifts you up, right? Like the footprints in the sand. Like, that's why I was so happy that he chose me to go through all of this. I'm like, yes, man, like, you know, it's been like trauma after trauma after trauma after fight, and it's just been absolutely terrible. And then I'm like, thank you, God, for choosing me to do this, right? Like, if I'm a coach and I'm going to send in my best player, like we're down in the fourth quarter, I'm going to go I need to send in somebody. I'm going to pick my best player for that. I'm not going to be like, hey, man, I really need this situation fixed, so let's send in the worst. You know, he sends the people that are ready at that time in their life. Not saying I'm the best at all, far from it, but I just feel happy that God is like, you know, I can trust James to handle this, you know. So that's kind of why I've been changing the way I've been looking at it, instead of being more upset and being the victim of like, why is this happening to me? I'm like, God, thank you for testing me, for putting me through this, for letting me get the strength and the courage, because everybody wants strength, but nobody wants to battle. How are you going to be a good warrior, but you've never been to war, right? Like, how does that make sense? So I'm going to ask God for courage. Then I need to accept that he's probably going to send me a fight. You know, he's probably going to send me something. You want courage? You got to face the fear. That's how these things work. How am I going to have patience if my patience isn't tested? You know? So I'm like, I'm in a happy place with everything, right? If you look at my story, if you guys really knew genuinely the entire story, you'd be like, what just happened? Absolutely mind-blowing. But you're like, there's no way that dude should be smiling right now. That's what all my friends say. All my friends are like, dude, how are you still alive, bro? They're like, I would have taken myself out had that happened to them. And I'm like, all God, man. Because this is just, what the hell am I, bro? This is a shell. Right? This is a flawed human body, man. You know, so I kind of look at it like, you know, blessed to be, you know, at least chosen, or at least blessed to have, you know, that fight that I'm going through. And then it's a good testimony, because I can say, God, look how you saved me from this, from the wickedness. You know, the closer I get, or the more that you get biblically, and the closer that you get to God, the more that you get to see the world from that biblical perspective, right? And you get to see the wickedness of that Babylonian system and how it's designed to crush and oppress, man. It's crazy stuff. But then God is our Savior, you know? So, yeah, man. Oh, dude, yeah, hook me up, man. Send me that. It's a good thing I'm always broke, or I would be. Yo, hey, that's true. And you still have some of the most beautiful, amazing tats that I've ever seen. I absolutely love your tattoo so much. I'm such a fan. I'm so jealous. I love the colors, the designs. My grandmother always talks about it. She's like, her tats are so beautiful. And they got the colors and the designs and the thing. I am infatuated. I love your tattoo so much. It's such a work of art. It is absolutely remarkable. So, all right, let me see. Is it going to let me actually click on it? I don't even think, do we have links up? Like, can I even see that link? Let me see. I don't think it's gonna let me. There's got to be a way that you can well, let you do it in a like a comment, like if you comment on a video or like a community post, because I think community posts, I think you could post links, right? Or you can upload images and stuff. Try it in the community post. See if you can just upload. And I don't know if you guys knew this. This is kind of new. I'm not going to share the screen here, but I just want to show, I want to put this up real quick. Where's it at? I think, I could be wrong, I'm just double checking. On the community post tab, now you guys can make your own posts. So you can actually, I think, start your own like thread and stuff. I could be wrong, you might have to check it out. I think you can though, I think you can. Yeah, man, because I'm going to check that out, bro. I'm super pumped. When I kick down immediately, go and bless others, pray with them, give to charity, even though it's just through. I'm telling you, that is such a hard thing to do, and that's so respectable, because that's difficult. And that's why I don't understand that. So I was trying to figure this. I've been trying to figure this out, right? So even with my I have a freaking, what do you call it, bachelor's in psychology and all this, right? Doesn't even matter. You can just look at the basic thing of how people operate and how they work, and I still don't understand the logic behind this. Whenever you go to forgive somebody, right? So if you're forgiving somebody and you're like, you know what, I'm going to turn around and bless others. You know how they always talk about in the Bible where it's like, you know, Christians, like we turn the other cheek and stuff. And then people talk about how they look at that as like forgiveness or offering that apology or whatever it is as this weakness. But in reality, that's the hardest thing to do. Right? It's so easy for me to just ignore you, to talk trash, to say whatever, to pass blame, to go back and forth, to justify the reasoning of why I did whatever it was. It's easy to do that. It's very difficult to reflect inside of yourself and say, okay, I'm going to actually forgive this person. That is hard to do, man. And then it also kind of shows your character, your just who you are as a person, right? Because that takes a lot of I was going to say like a good pride destroyer. I just don't know the right synonym for it. But whatever destroys, opposite of that, ego, right? Like it shows that you have this very humble heart. And you're willing to put that aside and you're willing to say, okay, I'm wrong, I forgive, and then to truly forgive. Because here's the thing that I ran into was I kept saying, and everybody asked me, they're like, oh, why did you forgive? Why did you forgive after all this was done to you? I forgave everybody that has done this, right? That has just been absolutely wicked towards me. I forgave everybody. And it's because I think like, okay, I want God to forgive me and my sins, but I'm not going to forgive other people. How does that work? Am I going to be standing in front of God as a hypocrite? And God's like, okay, time out. You want me to forgive you, but you can't forgive other people, right? Jesus can forgive the people that tortured him, humiliated him, crucified him, and Jesus can forgive, right? And you can't. So I'm just over here like, man, I'm not going to be a hypocrite in front of God. So I started to forgive, right? And then I started to realize I didn't forgive it all. You know why? When I thought about what they've done to me, I'm like, I get angry, I get upset a little bit, I get upset, or I get frustrated, or I get sad, I get grieved. And I'm like, did I really forgive somebody if I still feel that way? I don't think so. Like, I want to get to that point when I forgive somebody and I don't feel anything afterwards. To me, that is where that true forgiveness lies. And that, my friend, is freedom. Freedom, it's just such a bigger freedom that I can even explain. When you truly forgive to the point where you don't even feel it anymore. You're not tied down in the stress and the anger and the thoughts and the negative stuff that all goes on. I'm telling you, true forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do and the most rewarding. I promise you, man. How long have I been a Christian? Man, my whole life. I was raised to love Christ and I loved him ever since. You know, my entire life, man. That's one thing, you know, I will say if I'm just being transparent, man, I'm always open. I'm very transparent about things. I will say that I haven't always been this perfect Christian. I don't think anybody can say that they are, right? But I've had a period of time where I don't talk, or I still believe in God. I've always believed in God, always believed in Jesus, always believed he's the Messiah, right? Like he died and, rose from the dead. He beat death. He overcame sins. And he's going to come back again. I believe all that. But there's times where I don't, maybe I don't follow in the footsteps, or I kind of do my own thing. I kind of do what I want, right? I continually sin because that's what feels good to me. Whatever feels good to me, I just do. And then I say to myself, well, I'm still talking to God, right? Like I'm still praying to him, but then I'm turning around and I'm sinning. So that that kind of eat me up a little bit, because I want to say this is probably 7 years, something like that. 7 years, I'm going to say 7 to 10, where I didn't talk to God as much as I should have. And then I get to where I'm 20, 29, 30, and I look back at those 10 years and I'm like, wait a minute. I wasted 10 years of my life where I could have been building my relationship with God. Great waste of my time, so I mean, that's how I felt about it. So I try all the time, like now, where I try to live and breathe what I say. Like I'm going to tell God, like, hey, I'm going to turn, I'm going to repent for my sins, and I'm going to do everything in my absolute nature to not do them again. Not perfect. I'm definitely not, man, far from it, but I try so hard. I try so hard, man. I try. Here, let me see. Let me catch up on this real quick, man. I got go on a little tangent real quick. I hear in my spirit, it's more like, you overcame drinking, smoking, sin, but you can't overcome your thoughts. Yes, the brain and mind is powerful. Yes, that is. I mean, what's crazy? Kevin Hart said it, and I'll get to the next comment here in a sec. Kevin Hart said it. Oh, sorry, Cat Williams. Cat Williams said it one time. He was like, man, the brain is kind of funny. It's the dumbest thing ever, right? He's like, you can bullshit your brain, right? Like your brain is that stupid it can believe things. And that is how it's true. Yeah, he said it as a comedic skit, but you can literally force yourself to believe whatever you want. That's how people that have like severe hypochondria, right? They'll start to believe something so much, like I'm sick, to the point that they get sick. That's how wild the brain is. You can watch it. I mean, I was watching the National Geographic the other day, and something done freaked me out, because the dude was poking an ant's nest, and he kept poking it with a stick, and he's like, oh, look at all the ants and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, stop poking it, don't poke that ant hole, man, stop poking that thing, what are you doing? And he's poking it, pop, 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 and then boom, he got covered in a bunch of ants, and immediately my body started itching. I'm like, oh, I'm like covered in ants. I'm like, dude, I hated it, right? So yeah, man, the brain is way too powerful. Let me make sure. All right, so have to understand we're probably from God. I hope so. He gave me these words to tell us. You need to make a playlist of all this stuff. Bro, I really need to. I would love to do it, man. I gotta wait for one of the cases or I gotta wait for it to finish before I can really talk anything about it. But I would absolutely love to, man. I would love to share that testimony. And I told God, when he saves me from this, because I know he will. I have no fear. When I go to court, I don't have any fear anymore, man. I know God's going to save me from this, and I'm pure, I'm clean, I'm innocent, and I know that he knows this, right? And our God is a just God. He knows, man. He loves justice, hates injustice. So I have no fear with that, but I would love to be able to share that testimony. I told God, I promised him, I'm like, when you get me out of this, right? If you choose to, whatever, your will be done, not mine, whatever it is, but I'm still going to use this as my testimony. And that's what I'm very excited for, and very excited for that, because I love sharing what God has done for me in my life, man. All right. That would be so good, man. And you know what's funny? When I do videos, it's so much more difficult, because talking to you and being able to be interactive is what helps me flow and talk about it. But I promise you, when I sit down and I start recording, it's a gaggle. I'm like, all right, in today's video, dude, it's not good. So it's terrible for me. But yeah, that would be really awesome, man. I might even have to pull stuff from the live streams just to turn it into videos, because I love talk. Dude, I could talk scripture all day, man. I love Bible, I love Bible verses. I love Bible stories. I just love God. I'm obsessed. That is why it's important to stay positive. Hey, that's hard. Oh man, it's so difficult to stay positive. It is, especially when you're being wronged and stuff. Like it. Oh man, I try so hard. It is so difficult though. Yep, it's not up to us to know why. That's the other thing. Not up to us. Yep. So, man, I would love to be on a podcast. I need to start doing more podcasts. That's why I was so excited to go live today, because I was talking to my buddy, and this is how I always say, like, the Lord always, he already knows everything, right? Like, he knew that we would all be in this chat room talking together. You guys would be watching my video right now before you were born. That's the coolest thing ever, right? So I think God always has like a plan in place for us. He always has something. He always knows best for us, whether we know it or not. Whether we know it or not, he knew everything that would happen leading up to all the moments and everything else. He knows exactly what you're going to do, and then he gives you the free will to do it. And that's such a blessing and a beautiful thing. And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, I was using all my free time, not all my free time, but I was thinking so much about myself, man, that it didn't turn me away from God. It just was those 10 years where I didn't talk to him as much. And I said to myself, I'm never doing that again, man. I'm trying to follow him. And one of those things is letting go, forgiving, and just letting go, man. It's so hard to give everything over to him. But you know he's good. God is good all the time. Not a little bit. He's all the time. Valiant, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm so glad I can interact and talk with you guys. It's so much better than just the comments. Like, this is actually, it feels like I'm talking to family, man. I feel like I've known you guys my whole life, and I absolutely love talking to y'all, man. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Valiant, thank you for the prayers, man. Amen, brother. I appreciate you all so much. Like I said, I say it all the time. I'm like, you guys mean the absolute world to me. So. And it's true. This is all the social interaction that I really get now. I just stay to myself. You know, I got nothing going on. I just make videos, and one of the hardest things for me, you know, when I was going through all this stuff, was to keep making the videos. And I'll never forget, you know, my buddy came over. We were going to do a podcast, and he's like, he forgot his microphone. Drove like 2 hours out here. He's pissed off. And he's like, dude, this sucks, man. I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. I forgot my mic. We can't do it. We can't do the stream. And I'm like, it's all right. We'll do it tomorrow, like next week, right? And he's like, no, that's not the point. It doesn't matter, bro. This video can be out there helping somebody right now. And I'm like, dang. It's a good way to look at it. He's not looking at it like, yes, I want to make money and I'm trying to get none of that stuff, man. And I always love that, man. I always love that. So beautiful. So when I think about it now, I'm like, man, I might be tired, I might be exhausted, whatever it is. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna finish this video because it's gonna help somebody. So I try my hardest, but yeah, man. Valiant, that means the world to me, man. I appreciate you. All right, man. Take care. Get that 7 hours of rest, man. See you, buddy. Kari, man, we gotta play Flight Simulator. I gotta get it. Actually, what do you have it on? Xbox, right? Because I have it on PC and I got it on Xbox, and I think, yeah, I have everything set up for it. I even got the pedals, bro. Look, you think I'm playing? Car, you think I'm playing out here? Check this out. Look at that thing. Yeah. Love it. Tell me what are you doing? Where you at? Where nobody's doing. Awfully quiet. Nova. I hate waking her up, but also I'm so scared. So, yeah, man, Xbox, dude, I'm pretty sure I gotta reinstall it because it's huge. But why are you gonna get it, dude? Oh, please tell me you're gonna get both, though, right? Like, you're not gonna just leave us on Xbox. Don't leave us, Kari. Oh, when the VR comes out? Yeah. That'll be dope. Yeah, I think I accidentally woke her up because I can hear her click-clacking down the hallway. Come here. What are you doing down there? Still waking up. Good night and God bless. I can't wait. Hopefully we can talk a lot more. And then you got to let me know whenever you do the podcast. I'm so down. It was such a pleasure chatting with you. You have no idea. It made my entire month. I'm so happy. So happy you're on here. This is Sweet Nova. She just woke up, but that's why she's a little bit tired. She's tired. Why are your ears down? Oh, it's because I got the lights on. She'll be getting freaked out by the lights. She doesn't like it. Because she knows that I'm going to be sitting down here yelling and screaming on the microphone for a while. Girl, just checking on you. All right. Let her sit for 2 more minutes and then she'll have to go because she's going to get crazy. Start climbing on me. Never mind. There it is. But yeah, man, that's dope. I think the PS5 will be sick, especially if you could do the VR, man. If you could do the VR, game over. PS5, that makes me want to have get a PS5 right now. I'm kind of excited. For it. So yeah, man. Just let me know. Let me download it and see how much space I have because I'm download a couple more games. I gotta start streaming and get everything up. I'll have my Elgato tomorrow, and then we definitely have to find a time to link up. Oh no, I don't even have to download it, bro. Never mind, because it's cloud gaming on Game Pass. I don't even need to install it, bro, so we can play whenever, man. I'm gonna tomorrow's gonna be a little bit. I want to say, yeah, tomorrow might be a little bit time crunching because I'm getting everything set up because like that Elgato is gonna be here and it'll let me game and stream. So I have to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff I don't want to do because I'm gonna have to. Oh man, I don't want to do it because I'm gonna have to go through and set everything up in the audio and the video game. Dude, it's gonna be a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie, I'm upset at that. But I could definitely play some Flight Sim with you, bro. We gotta do it. When's the next update? Do you know? Look at this dog, man. Hi. Hi, beautiful girl. Hi. Hi. Hi, sweet lady. Okay. All right. She's just a big-ass baby, man. It's funny because, like I said, you guys don't see it, but she be climbing on me 24/7 when I'm trying to do my videos. Stanky breath. That's another thing. She getting her teeth brushed and she getting a bath soon. Let's see if she knows her keywords all the time. In April? Okay. Dude, I kind of want to, if I can, I might try to get the, damn, that's soon though. Man, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. So, because I'm about to call it, bro, but I'll pop up on, I'll be on here tomorrow, man. I'm gonna, hopefully, let me get these batteries charged up. And then, so I can try to stream a little bit extra because I didn't have my other battery. I don't even know where the charger's at. But then this way we can run it tomorrow, dude. So just let me know and I'll be on, man. And also you can just text me whenever, bro. Even if it's like 2 a.m., whatever. I don't really care, dude. There's no late time for me. You can text, chat whenever, man. I always make time for you, Car. You're the man. You always make me so happy, bro. Yeah, what video is it, real quick, and I'll go check it out. All right, let's see. How long is it? Let me pull it up real quick. All right. Yeah. So which one are we looking at here? Is this the one from like a month ago? Is it not letting me see? Because I can't see the link. Like the link doesn't pop up on my thing. So is it this one at 5:23? Is that what you're talking about, like here? Or do you mean is it a different one? Or is it even popping up? I mean, we could pick. Okay, there's got to be. Let me do a new one because I don't think that this is Cowtown. All right, let's see. Should I search for something different? Let me try. Let me try to search for a different one. Right? Yeah. Yeah, what are we looking at? And you're talking about the new one, right? Like 20 No, what's the new one's not, what's the new one? 24, right? All right. See, these are all old, bro. Let me change something real quick. It's like this month. Bro. Wait a minute. Maybe should I put PS5? Like if I let me see that. Cowtown. All right. Oh, here we go. This one, right? Yeah, this gotta be it.
Base 44 super agents work. Set up in seconds and ready to go.
Hello everybody, and welcome to our first look at PSVR 2 running on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And my goodness, does it look absolutely fantastic. So this is from today's PlayStation blog, a little deep dive which I'll kind of talk about.
Let me turn off that other...
We'll start off talking about this footage that we...
Because that music is driving me nuts. I forgot I even had it on, bro. There we go.
Have going on here. I was seeing posts in the forums saying, oh, it won't look like it does on the flat screen. It'll look a lot more downgraded. I'm interested to see what they have to say now because this is looking so good. I was so excited to see this, so...
Bro.
I'll leave the link in the description and comments if you want to watch these videos in the website. I'm hoping YouTube doesn't compress it too much. So we start off with the agricultural spraying.
Bro.
Look at that. I mean, it looks just like it does.
Bro, don't even.
Playing regular. That's insane to me. There's the beluga, and this shot with the wind going through the grass here. Oh, that's so nice.
Dude.
I have a feeling we're going to be testing this out in some update 5
I gotta
beta.
hook you up with that
really
one, bro.
do. And I can't wait for it.
Yes.
That's just...
Yes, bro.
The cockpit looks so good.
Yes,
I mean,
I
everything
got
just
you,
looks
Car.
fantastic.
That's such a good one.
And this is exactly
Dude,
what I was
remind
hoping
me,
for.
bro. Tomorrow when we do the
PC,
live
you have
stream,
all these
remind me,
different
bro.
rigs,
I'll
different
fill
specs,
all that
different
stuff in.
headsets, and it's just... I couldn't imagine developing for that. So I was really excited to see
Bro,
what Sobo can do
4K
with
the
just
PS5.
focusing on one headset
Sold.
and one hardware. I can't talk. I'm so excited. And
Bro, that's
seeing
so
that.
intense right there.
All this, I was already excited for it. Now I'm even more excited. So let's dive into some of the key points they talk about in the blog, which I'm excited about this first one. Of course, they talk to the awesome Jorg. So cockpit interactions in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 are complex.
Bro.
There are so many different instruments, knobs, and switches to interact with. Each interaction model had to be redesigned to fit the PSVR 2 Sense controllers to action them in a natural and intuitive manner. That means we have fully interactable cockpits. This isn't just hold onto the yoke and everything else is there visually. You'll be able to use those Sense controllers and mess. I can't wait to mess with that. I can't wait for all of it. I don't know how many times I've said that already, but that is so exciting to see. It'd be fun just using. I mean, oh, that's gonna be so good. But anyway,
real quick, that right there, I think could be one of my favorite features of the entire thing. I think that's what makes the VR experience to the highest level. Not even a brand new level, to the highest level I think that we've been able to experience, because I was worried about that. I'm like, okay, if it's VR, right, like visually, you can look around the cockpit, right? Probably has head tracking, stuff like that. But if you can interact live with the cockpit, the instruments, dude.
let me move on here before I don't know.
That already sold me right there.
Regarding frame rates, to get smooth frame rates, they are using favorited rendering with flexible scaled rasterization. And another tech developed specifically for PSVR 2 support was frame duplication, where the render thread would iterate twice for one frame of the main thread, updating the camera position in between. This technical approach was another key in achieving the frame rate needed for PSVR 2. They talk about how the team looked at Gran Turismo 7 and how they used their tech to effectively use VR, which is a great example I mean, if you haven't used Gran Turismo 7 with your
I heard it
yet,
was
you're
freaking
missing out.
amazing.
So I'm glad they're taking inspiration from that and bringing it over to Flight Sim. They go in to talk about developing VR for all the planes. Airliners were used a lot during development, especially the Boeing 737. In general, airliners are the most challenging archetype because of their requirements on performance, the sheer complexity of the cockpits, readability, as well as interactions. But now that it all works really well, taking off with the 737 in VR is immensely satisfying. I believe that because the clip of the Beluga, I mean...
Bro, come on now.
I just can't get over the visuals of what we're seeing here. They go on to say helicopters like the Gumbel Cabri G2 are also particularly interesting and immersive in VR because the peripheral vision in these aircraft is unmatched. In VR, you do not just fly a helicopter, you feel like you are suspended in midair. It is a great way to enjoy the scenery.
No way. Nah, bro. Time out. Hold on. I still got hair in my mouth. It's driving me nuts. What? What? Bro. Okay, at this point, I have to do it. I have to. Because that's another thing. I'm always so skeptical with Microsoft Flight Sim. Do I love them? Yes. Do I also hate them for a very specific reason? Yeah. I hate that they always leave out the love for the helicopters. Helicopters feel terrible. Don't feel realistic at all. Don't look realistic. They don't fly realistic. Piss me off all the time. I'll get in there and it's like R22 cockpit, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so dope, dude. And I'll get on there and I'll start flipping the switches and I'll try to start it up. Doesn't even start up the right way. They just came up with something and just threw it there. And they're like, yep, just flip activate the clutch. Clutch light turns out, put the clutch down, hit the start button. I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not how that works. Come on, Flight Sim. Piss me off. So this is the thing. If they just said, it feels like you're suspended in midair. Kari. Suspended in midair. What else is there to say? If that is the true feeling. Now, I don't really like that aircraft they're talking about, the Calabria like G2. Never flown it, so I don't really know. I don't really like it. But if that's the feeling, and they especially with the mods, right? Because I bought I bought like 3 or 4 helicopters so far because it's made by the actual pilots themselves, and they really make sure that it's spot on. So I have the Bell 206 L3, flew that one in real life, the R44 to R22, and the R66. I bought the R66 too, and those feel phenomenal. But we talking about VR, bro. Okay.
They talk about, using the headset in the Red Bull Air Races, which I can't imagine. If you're new to VR, do not go into Red Bull Air Races right away.
Could you imagine?
I'm just telling you, go in a nice hot air balloon ride. Or anything
else. Go to hot air balloons, bro.
Because I could not imagine just diving into VR for the first time and going to a Red Bull Air Races. But I'm looking forward to messing with that too. And there we go. Just a quick run through again. I'll leave the PlayStation blog post in the description and comments so you can go in there and read it fully. But it still lists the free PSVR 2 update launching early this year. So sounds like we're still, I would imagine, tied to Sim Update 5 for it. And with how it's looking, it seems like they're pretty far into the development of it. So I would imagine Sim Update 5.
Dog. Say less. Say less. Ain't no way I could be walking around knowing that this thing exists and it ain't in my house playing it. Dang. Okay. This is why I need to do more lives, man. This is why I got to go live more. I be learning so much from you. I had no clue. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm speechless. But I'm excited. I got the pedals. I got the joystick. I got everything ready to roll. Dude, you know what I was going to do too? I like it so much better on the PC though. So I've been playing Flight Simulator a lot on the PC just because the flight stick and the instruments work so much better because you can buy so many different brands of flight sticks. Like there's only a couple that are very specific towards the Xbox. Like I got the Velocity one, right? I think I was showing you this one earlier, right? So I absolutely love this. However, this is what pisses me off. Look at this real quick. Look, watch this. Let's say you move it, right? And you're like, oh, we're going to go left. Hate that. Hate it. Who designed that? Why did they do that? Look at that. One more time. Look at that. Back to center. Is there an aircraft? Maybe I'm wrong. But in helicopters, that's not how that works. So you get, if you have a spring that's constantly putting tension on here, and yeah, you can turn it down a little bit. There's like a little screw down here that lets you turn it down, but it's trash, right? So I'm not going to do it again on this one, but on the old one I had, it's a pain, dude. It is an absolute pain. If you take all the bolts out the bottom, you can pop this off, and there's a little metal spring in it. And I was at the gunsmith, so I brought this into the gunsmith, and I'm like, hey, man, can you help me take that spring out and cut that spring? And what it does is it makes it so it doesn't like spring back to the center. So the entire time you're flying, you're fighting this like stick, because you have to hold it forward, and it's like you're constantly fighting resistance. And in reality, if you're inside of a helicopter, right, we have certain things like we can turn on friction. You probably have the same exact thing inside of the aircraft that you're flying, like fixed wing. You turn that friction on, and it makes it so when you let go of this joystick, instead of it just falling forward, it has a little bit of tension. So it might slowly drift forward, but it gives you enough time if you need to change like a frequency or something, you could just put friction on. This is absolutely terrible. And almost every single joystick has this. Unless you want to spend $800-900 for some of the X flights or whatever they were. I can't remember the name of it. There's one that's really up there. Or like China flights or something. It had like a name like that. I think it was like China Instruments or something like that is the one that makes them. But they're freaking expensive, dude. Hate this. Hate this. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Terrible. Despicable. Wickedness. The devil is wicked, man. Whoever did that, whoever thought, hey, let's put a big-ass giant spring in there that they have to fight for 10 minutes to be able to fly the aircraft. Man, I'd be getting fatigued. My arms be hurting. Bro, I'd be looking like a pervert because one arm is bigger than the other because I'm sitting home fighting that freaking joystick all day. Yeah, man. Damn. Dang. And bro, why are the ads? So let me go back real quick. Time out. It said earlier, let me try this real quick. On my control panel, if it pops up, it told me that I can set the frequency of ads. I set them to extremely low, like as low as it can go. Why would they do, man? Let me open this up because I don't want them to be hitting you with ads all the time. Delay ads during a port. Oh, I can delay. Time out. Man, there's so much new stuff here. Maybe that was my fault. I think I can click a button, delay ads. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, I delayed the ads for you, bro. Okay. All right, so I hit the delay on them. My fault, man. Yeah, but I'm not trying to. I want you to have a good experience, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks when you're trying to enjoy a video and you just getting blasted, just slapped around with the ads, bro. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. I was watching the stream earlier and I felt like every 2 minutes it was blasting me with ads, and I was getting so frustrated. I was getting so mad. I'm like, come on, man. Right during the good parts too, every time. All during the good parts. Okay. I think I got to do this because, like I said, man, that's the only thing that kills me, bro. If you get one of those joysticks, dude, you gotta make sure on that joystick, you gotta go in there and try to find one that has the least resistance, because I would not want to fly a helicopter if it felt like that in real life. I would be so upset, man. You'd be so fatigued because usually we always say just fly with 2 fingers, right? And because that's all you really need to fly that aircraft. You don't need to put in big movements, nothing like that. You just gently push forward. Imagine taking a pencil, imagine taking like a pen and just drawing a tiny circle on a piece of paper. That's how much input you're actually putting into this to fly a helicopter. Crazy. So you know why men make terrible helicopter pilots right off the bat? Because we're so used to forcing things, right? Like you force stuff 24/7. You slam things around. Then you get into a helicopter and you try to do those big inputs, bro, you're all over the place. It's very gentle. It's just a very slight. So I start flying with that thing, dude. Makes me mad. Makes me upset. I don't like it. Whoever made that's despicable. Nah, they're probably not, but they don't make me happy when they do that. So, but all right, Mang, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because we've been streaming for like 3 hours now. So I'll probably I'll drop the stream. I'll try to get it up again tomorrow. I will have my Elgato. If I can get it up, the Elgato up and running, then I'll do that. And then if not, I should be able to still live stream something. I'd like to be able to live stream a game with us, and even if if me and you can collab on there and we could both jump on Flight Sim and do like a stream, that'd be so freaking sick, dude. That'd be so sweet. You got to teach me about fixed wings. You got to teach me about planes, man. I don't know anything about them. I could do helicopters and air traffic control and all that stuff for many, many years, man. I could do that. I could speak on that every day of my life for years. I don't know a thing about planes. I'll be honest with you. So you got to teach me, man. You got to hook your boy up. So, all right, man, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to everybody that watched. That was so fun. I'm so happy to be back and be able to talk to you guys. Like I said, it builds so much more community, and it's a little bit more personal where you can interact with the creators here. So, yeah, man, I got you, man. I'll try to help you out the best I can with audio. Audio is terrible, bro. Terrible. Let's go. Kari, let's freaking go, man. I'm excited. So, yeah, man, just let me know. And then if you have any pictures of your audio setup and stuff, I could try to help. Dude, I'm terrible with audio, but I've been getting a little bit better. It's just OBS is very confusing. Very, 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 very confusing. And the more stuff that you do with it, the more confusing it gets. Like, for me, going from the Xbox to the PC to do my game, the audio is coming from the game. Then you got the headset audio that I have Xbox Party Chat that I need to open up on here too to record the party chat, but I can't use my microphone because it's connected to my other headset, right? So I can't hear the game in chat. I can't hear the game in the PC. So I have to swap to the other headset, make sure that that's an actual like set component, like in these orders, because one of those things is off and you guys aren't going to be able to hear anything. Then I got to use this mic for both the game chat to route it to my Xbox. It's a freaking pain in the ass, man. It's terrible. And I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah, I just kind of do it until it works. That makes sense. I try. That's it. That's all I can try to do. But I'll do my best for you, bro. You mean the world to me. So, all right, man. God bless you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you all for hanging out. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And I will see you guys in it tomorrow, man. We going to get it in. So, all right, man. See ya. Later, fellas. How do I even stop this? That's how long it's been. All right, there we go. All right, later, y'all.